Hello and welcome to Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England, 2001. With me tonight.
I believe that I might be a little bit of a bounty hunter tonight. Unless this current bounty hunter is playing Brouillard. That is.
Oh my god!
It's okay, we'll edit that out.
Silas,
We'll edit it out.
I have nothing to go with that, so I'm going with Bex playing Velvet, who doesn't look like this.
Yeah, I'm Lane playing Joanne Salt.
Carlos playing Theo Pan of Clan Venture.
Yes, I'm saying that.
So if you were wondering, obviously we're doing this, and you might be wondering, well, it is because it's Halloween this week, so that's why we all look so wonderful. So yes,
I cannot eat Jaffa cakes with this.
so before we get into episode 4 of season 1, we're going to have a little recap of what happened last time.
We are. So we began last time with Theo, who had seen a very unpleasant reflection of himself in the mirror with deep black pits where his eyes should have been. Then each of us met with our sires. We'd taken to the Natural History Museum in Oxford to meet with our sires' and our lovely families, and then to meet with the prince. We met each of us met individually with the prince. We met another girl while we were waiting, Soap, and we each were asked a question which we needed to answer. Velvet, Theo, and Joanne all found themselves volunteering to take the test of Mettle to prove their dedication to the defence of Oxford. Silas didn't make it back to the waiting room with the coterie after his meeting with the prince, or maybe not meeting with the prince, we don't know. So we tried to call him and left a message, but we ended with Theo, Velvet, and Joanne all asking to take the test, and Sir Francis arriving to deliver it. So we're waiting to see which of us gets that fantastic honour first.
Yes, so thank you very much for that. So we are...
had like an ugly
Face?
Like, no. Like a flail with spikes.
Yes,
Yeah, that's for you, that's fine.
So Francis, there were several in the court who were armed. So Francis is one of them, and she did have a nasty-looking flail which ended in a spiked ball. So it is Thursday, the 25th of October, 2001. And when we left off, as has been described, we had 3 of our coterie members who had requested to take the test of Mettle, and in his benevolence, the prince had accepted all of those requests and had asked Francis to deliver the test of Mettle. And we had ended with the herald saying that the first person to take the test will be... But obviously I can't tell you who the first person is because we don't know yet what's happened to Silas and he's behind in time, so we need to catch him up first. So make yourselves comfy for a little bit, the rest of you. We're going to go back to Silas and find out what happened to him. So earlier that evening, Silas, you will have been, like everyone else, prepped to get into a very smart set of clothes. You will have been assisted by Finn to make sure that you're not too hungry. So you will wake up that evening on Hunger 1. However, you will need to make a rouse check when you wake to see if you get any hungrier.
Hunger 2.
So in the act of rousing
This is a good
yourself
start.
from your day sleep, to make the power of the blood work, you do feel slightly hungry. It's nothing bad. You're in control, but it's just that little bit harder to ignore. However, there are many things to help distract you, which is, of course, you have to get ready. Finn is very anxious that you're not late, and he will have a car pick you up. So you don't have to worry about driving and parking and things like that. So there will be... you have actually met him before. There is a guy who's Finn's driver. He's got quite a bit of a curly mullet thing going on, and he's wearing headphones, and he's driving the car. You and Finn will be sat in the back. You don't think the driver can hear your conversations. He seems to be singing along to something. Finn is more smartly attired than usual, and he seems to have swapped his kind of corduroys for a a more sort of straightforward suit, and his hair is looking especially well groomed. His beard also neatly trimmed and brushed. So whilst you're in the car, he will say, "So, all ready, yeah?"
I think so. But is there anything I should know about this meeting? Meeting the prince.
Aye, that's right. You're going to meet the prince.
Yep.
And you're going to swear the oath to him.
Yes.
And you know the oath because we've been through it a lot of
Yes.
times. It's very good. And you swear it proudly, and then the prince will admit you into the city. Well, he'll make you a petitioner, okay? Which means that you've got permission to try and get proper recognition as a kindred of Oxfordshire. Right?
Right.
Now, obviously, it's possible that the prince could say no if you didn't say the oath properly, that kind of thing. But you're from a very good line, so I think that'll be fine. All right? Now, the other thing is, the prince will probably ask you something, but it's different for each person, okay? So I can't tell you what's going to be. But what I would say is you've got to answer him honestly, truthfully. Look him in the eye, be proud, okay? That's what he'll respect. He'll respect strength, all right?
As befitting of our line.
Exactly, as befitting of our line, yeah.
And you said we were meeting your sire and the Black Douglas himself?
So I'll explain how it's going to go. So you're gonna meet our line, our family. So there's my sire, okay, and there's also going to be another child of hers, my brother, if you like, will be there, and there's also my sire's brother, if you like. So there's a few of us will be there. There's a few others as well, but they may not be there tonight. Anyway, you'll meet them. You can ask anything you want about the prince, about the court, about Oxfordshire, and they'll help you out. All right? And then you'll meet the prince. And if that goes well, you'll be able to come to court. Now, here's the important bit. When you get into court, right, you're done. You know, you're safe, you're in, okay? If you're a normal person, and by normal person I mean another clan, right? But there's this thing which the brave and the true can ask for to stand above the others, right? Called the test of mettle.
Right. And what is this test of mettle?
Basically, you have to show that you're strong enough to suffer for Oxfordshire, and that you can take a hit, you know.
Right. What sort of hit?
Like a hit to the face. You know.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah.
So, the thing is, if the prince doesn't want you to come in, then he'll get someone to hit you so you don't survive. Okay. But if you're hit and you survive, then it doesn't matter. Okay. Because the court will be there. They'll see it. Even the prince can't say no if you pass. So, and it'll give you a head start over the others. Between you and me, I don't think that Torero is gonna have a go. She probably doesn't even know about it.
I know. She's certainly got a lot of balls for her profession.
Yeah,
give her
but
that, but
her old profession.
yeah.
Aye. Well, and I mean, the Ventru might do it. They're from quite a proud line and all that, but you will definitely do it. I'm hoping that they'll see you do it and they'll realise, you know, what a great person you are. So there's that, and then after that, they'll be court. You probably won't be in a good state for most of court, okay? But we'll be there to help you through it. The important thing is that the rest of court will see you, and their first impression will be that you're tough, and you're dutiful, and you're strong, and you're dedicated. So when you come to the court after that, when you've recovered, then you'll get a warm welcome.
And just what exactly is this person going to be hitting me with? Do you know?
Well, it depends. Normally they're fist,
Oh, fist.
Normally.
but you know, it depends.
Yeah. And there's
Depends how much you've annoyed the prince. So, aye. But I would say probably a fist. And probably Sir Francis, but might not be.
Sir Francis.
I mean, any of the knights technically could deliver it.
Any reason why Sir Francis specifically?
Well, she's the Princess Scourge, so she tends to deal out any punishment.
Yeah, so
the prince wants dealing.
She's the one who you do not want knocking at your door.
No, you don't want her knocking at your door ever. If she comes knocking at your door, it's bad. She never comes for any other reason. Okay, she's very she's not very social, basically. But she's very, very efficient. She probably won't knock, for whatever it's worth. Anyway, that's the way it's gonna go. And you'll get a chance to talk to the rest of the line, okay? So, you know, do ask whatever you want. We don't mind. When it's just us, anything goes, okay? You don't need to worry about standing on ceremony. I mean, obviously be impressive and all that, but you don't have to be worrying about this or that. That's for court. So anything else? Or are you good?
I think I'm good. And
Great.
yeah.
So as you're driving along, you'll hear very quietly, too many broken hearts in the world, too many dreams. But Finn doesn't seem to pay any attention to it.
Listen, no, it's missing those notes there. It's missing those notes. Come on, get no. It's missing notes.
So you will travel into Oxford itself, into the city, and yes, here we go. You will be taken to the Keble College Chapel, and when you go in, the chapel is largely empty. However, the lights are on. You see, it's a very high-ceilinged building. There are beautiful stained glass windows. Everything looks pristine, very crisp. It's a very large, quite impressive space. However, there are only, apart from yourself and Finn, 3 other people that are there. So I'm going to describe them to you. The first one that you will see looks like a woman somewhere in her mid-60s. She looks quite sturdy. She's white, and she's wearing what looks like a nice quality, but a fairly shapeless, baggy jumper, and what looks like a sort of spiderweb shawl around the shoulders, and a fairly plain skirt that goes with it. She has grey hair, currently worn up in a bun. She is sitting next to a man who looks to be in his late 70s. He looks of dual heritage, and he has a shaved head and a grey moustache. And he looks, I say he looks in his mid-70s, he also looks like he's quite frail. He's got quite gnarled hands. And he's wearing quite a loose shirt and jacket, and what look like chinos. He looks actually quite casually dressed compared to Finn and yourself. And lastly, there is a man, sorry, not a man, I should say. There is someone who it's actually quite hard to tell whether it's a man or a woman. They're quite androgynous. You would peg them probably mid to late 40s. They are tall, slender, and have quite long hair, which is blonde. They are wearing what looks like quite a sharp-looking designer red shirt with a mandarin collar and a black jacket and sort of black trousers, and they've got ankle-high boots. And they look quite. Their dress style is quite modern, even sort of fashionable for this time, as in 2001. So yes, you will see them all, and they're all sitting at the other end, like right up the front. So you and Finn have to walk the length of the aisle. So as you're walking, they will turn to watch you coming along, and you will hear the woman say, "Ooh, there he is!"
Thank you.
Princess, so this is Silas. It's my child. Aye, we know that, Finn. Finn says, and this is Kerstag, Sir Kerstag, my sire. This is Thomas. He points to the elderly-looking gentleman, who I suppose you could say is a sort of uncle. You could. And this is Felix. He's like my brother. And Felix comes over and says, "Finn, it's been too long." And he embraces him. And For a good few seconds, there's a point where Finn kind of pats him on the back and goes, "Hey, that's nice. Hey, let's..." And then they kind of separate. And Felix will immediately come to you. And he says, "It's very good to meet you."
Very good to meet you as well.
Okay, you hold out your hand. He will take it and shake it, but he will also, with his other hand, come forward and kind of tap you on the shoulder and kind of squeeze it. There's... Whatever you need, just let me know.
Yes.
Hey, I can't see him from over there. Bring him closer, will you? So you're taken. Felix steps aside, and you're taken. She goes, "Oh my God! You never said he was so big."
I mean, you would be the first one that says that. I said that.
You come sit down here. I can look at you.
And I'll sit down.
So you sit down. She'll pat a space next to her on one of the pews. She is significantly smaller than you, and she'll kind of scrutinise you quite carefully. She's, "Oh, we're like reverse Matryoshka dolls. This is ridiculous, Finn." And Finn says, "Hey, well, we need them to be strong, right?" She says, "I suppose so." He says, "But what you should learn, Silas, is your size has nothing to do with your strength."
That's it. That is what Finn has certainly been teaching me.
Good.
And I get the sense that I may be the weakest in this room. Physically, for now, but we will see how time goes.
Hey, I'd say that's the right of it, yes. So, you're going to swear an oath to the prince?
Yes, I am.
Very dramatic. The mic drops.
Yo.
This one.
Yes, that one.
Okay, good. So for anyone listening to the podcast, that was the mic falling over. We're back. So yeah, she says, "Come closer."
We'll lean
No, a
closer.
little bit closer.
Yep.
So she can talk. She'll say to you, "Now, when you swear to the prince, I want you to look him in the eye, and I want you to look very closely. All right? And I want you, when you're done, to tell me everything you see about the prince. Just between us, okay?
Of course.
Right, very good." She sits back. She says, "Well, I'm sure Thomas wants to talk to you. Well, I talk to Finn." And then she gets up and she says, "I've heard this little speech before, so it's okay. I don't need it." And then she goes with Finn and also Felix, and they head over to a different part of the chapel. And you are left looking at Thomas. The thing that will strike you about Thomas is that he seems to be breathing, whereas Kerstag looks very much like a dead old woman who happens to be talking. Whereas Thomas doesn't. He looks... If you hadn't been told that he's a Kindred, he would look to you just like an old man. And he smiles. It's, Silas.
Thomas?
So, how are you finding it?
It's it can be a lot to take in, and I'm sure tonight is going to be no exception to that. But I believe Finn's been preparing with it as best as can be done. So
Finn's a good one. It's not easy being Brewyer.
no, I've heard. Again, he's been making sure. Well, he's been teaching me a lot.
Out there, outside of Oxfordshire, Brewyer are different. They're all angry and all over the place, causing trouble. But here, in Oxfordshire, they're different. Do you know why? Of course you don't. I'm going to tell you why. All right. So, reason is this. Here in Oxfordshire, we have something bigger than ourselves. Something more important to hold on to. So instead of it being about you or me or a clan, it's about values. That's what's important. That's what you got to cling to. So if you don't hold on to your values, then your nature is going to get on top of you. And then bad things are going to happen. We don't want that.
No, we do not.
No, indeed. So, have you got any questions you want to ask?
I mean, the biggest one is, I'm sure Finn's probably told me as much as he can, but is there anything I should be aware of?
Well, he glances over to the others. Between you and me, Finn he's a good one. He's a good sire. I won't take that away from him. The thing with Finn is, he's very, for his age, very naive. And although he tries to be the best, the best of the best of what we all aspire to be, he often holds those same beliefs about everyone around him. And trouble is, some people do not meet those standards. So what I would say is, though we Brewyer do our best to follow the code, to be better than ourselves, to be bigger than our individual selves, there are some who do not. You should watch for them. Because what they'll do is they'll use those codes to try and trick you. But they won't be playing by the same rules. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, it can be very difficult to spot this kind of behaviour. When you don't know the court and you don't know the other kindred. So you get any trouble, you come to one of us, and we'll set you straight. Now, there's something else you should be prepared for. Finn won't have told you because he doesn't think it's proper. But I want you to live through the night, so I'm going to give you a little bit of help. Alright? So, there's a tradition. Because you're descended from Sir James Douglas. Well, Sir James takes a more personal approach to his bloodline. So he's going to want to meet you before he lets you into court.
Okay.
He's probably going to give you some kind of test.
And what sort of test should I be prepared for?
He's not going to test you on the spot. He's going to give you something to do.
Okay.
And what you do is you look him in the eye, you say, yes, I will do that. And you mean it. And then you go and do it. Once you know what it is, then you've got to decide whether you're going to do it on your own or whether you're going to get help. Doesn't matter which you do, but think carefully who you ask if you're going to ask.
And would it be is there anyone you would advise me to talk to help? You, for example? Or
You can certainly ask me for advice, but I'm not I'm not the most practical leaning of our clan. Let's just say that, shall we? I was embraced a little late in life. You'll notice there's a few around here who are embraced late in life. It's always good to ask yourself why. It wasn't for my strength, let me tell you that. Or my quickness. Or my ability to cave in a skull. No.
brain is likely.
Ah, yes. I can see you're not just meat there. That's good. That's good. Right, so anything else you want to know before the Herald comes? Oh, yes. Now, the Herald. I should tell you about the Herald. Jason. Jason likes to think he sort of runs the place, even though he doesn't really. He's not as important as the Knights, but he is more important than nearly everybody else. So, he likes to lord it about a bit, especially if you're young and you're new. Don't rise to the bait. He will bait you, he will try and do it, but it's partly a test. If you show yourself polite, he'll let it go. Alright?
Okay.
Good. I think that's everything.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I'll look forward to seeing you in court. Oh, did Finn tell you about the test of Mettle?
Yes, yes, he did.
Aye.
And I'm left from what he's told me about healing before. I will probably need help healing after that.
Ah, you might well. You do know it's something you don't have to take if you don't want to.
But I think I think as is befitting of our line, I should.
Aye, that's exactly what Kerstag would say. Exactly what Finn would say. Probably what Sir James would say. But I'm telling you, if you want to, you don't have to take it. Better to not take it than lose control in the middle of court in front of every other kindred of Oxfordshire. Let me tell you that. Well, it's up to you. I'm only giving advice. Don't have to do what I say. I'm just offering it to you. I'm just saying you can make your decision how you feel in the moment. And there's no shame in it. No shame in it. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. You seem a nice lad.
I do my best.
Aye. Should warn you though, it's not a nice court. So it's all right being nice here, but don't be too nice in court. Anyway, that's all my advice done. I've done my advice now. I think I've told you everything. Right.
Thank you very much.
All right. So anyone else you're wanting to approach, or anything else you're wanting to do?
I don't think so at this point.
Okay. So one thing that will happen is that Felix will come up to you at one point and say, "We've got every confidence that you're going to make it through into court. You won't necessarily get a lot of chance now, but I was wondering if you could... Well, it's important that our clan is well regarded across Oxfordshire. And as a newcomer to the city, you're going to have a certain advantage. You have an excuse to speak to everyone, and also those younger kindred of the city will feel more comfortable talking to you than talking to me. I'd like it if you began finding out who's who, making friends, that sort of thing.
Of course.
That's all. But just show your best face. Make an effort to be social.
Yes. Of course, after the test of Mettle, which from what I understand, talking may be interesting, but then again, as
it's going to hurt, I'm afraid.
Yes.
But we've all been there. We've all been there. Well, those of us of this line anyway. Good luck.
I hope I will not need it, but thank you very much.
Whatever happens, we'll make sure you're looked after afterwards.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you collect yourself. 2 steps away. Not long after that, a messenger will arrive from the Herald to say the Herald is ready, and you will be taken from the chapel to the Museum of Natural History, whereupon you will meet the Herald, who I know you've seen the episode, so you know what he looks like, but he's there in his official robes, and he will, and I should say as well, you'll be united with the rest of the coterie. You'll be taken to a room. Soap will come in.
Yep.
All of that will play out. You will see first Velvet is taken away, and then Theodore is taken away, and then the Herald will come for you.
Yeah, well, leave my hat on the thing.
Yes, you leave your hat on the hook.
Being very carefully.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
And love it. So the Herald will come to you, and he says, "Have you earned the coin to be allowed entrance?"
Coin?
So you produce the coin. He will take it, examines it for a moment, slips it away into the sleeve of his robe. "Very well. Then you may come with me to meet the prince." And you're taken into the museum itself, which is empty, save for, of course, the hulking figure of the prince, who sits upon the his throne for all intents and purposes. It is just the prince, you, and the herald who are there. And as you come inside, the herald this is, will direct you to kneel.
And I will.
He'll say, "The Silas Shaw of Clan Bruyar, the child of Finlay Douglas." And then you will hear the sound of the herald moving kind of closer to the prince. Are you doing anything at this point?
I'm just quiet.
Okay, so you're quiet and waiting. You will hear the whispered voice of the herald, and then after a while he'll say, "The prince does you the honour of lending his ear."
I, Silas Shaw, child of Finn Douglas, child of Kirsten MacAndrews, Knight of Oxfordshire, child of Sir James Douglas, Knight of Oxfordshire, do swear to serve my lord and prince, Sir Jogo de Barrington, and never the beast, To commit no deed that brings shame upon myself, my blood, or the domain of Oxfordshire. To fear God and his church. To allow no false words to pass between myself and my brothers. May this oath bind me to Oxfordshire and its prince now and forevermore. I'm looking in his eyes the entire time.
Okay. Are you attempting, because of what Kirsto said, in any way to scrutinise or study the prince? Or are you just looking him in the eyes?
I will not. I will just look at this.
So you're just keeping eye
Yeah.
contact. So, I mean, looking just into his face, you will have the sense that most of his face is cast in shadow, but you will get the sense of slightly oversized fangs in his mouth. You will have the sense of what looks almost like dead flesh, and not a lot of flesh on his face. His eyes seem sunken slightly too far back into their sockets. And his arms are held in a slightly strange, slightly awkward position. And he just watches. He says nothing throughout the whole time. And then, after a moment, the herald goes up. So some signal. You don't even pick up what the signal is from the prince. And will say, listens to the prince for a moment. Says, "The prince has a question for you. He wishes to know how best you will serve him."
My best ways are more in my physical capabilities, or maybe as a potential distraction for things in line. That is my current skill set, but I am certain that I will learn and grow in time, my prince.
The herald says, "So you will be a..." Actually, no, before the herald responds, let's make a roll, shall we? So as I said to the other players, obviously, you can always use willpower on this roll if you want, and you can also rouse should you wish to. The pool I think you're going to be using is charisma, and your choice of persuasion or etiquette.
I will rouse. I will willpower.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, that's my password, and that's okay. This is not going well. So that's 2 successes, and I'm out on hunger 3.
Okay. You are... It's very intimidating being in this space.
Yep.
And kind of under the glare of the prince, and also knowing that there are these very high expectations on you from your clan, and in particular from Finn. And that horrible feeling like, are you doing enough? Is it coming across well? Does the prince approve? All of those things. So I'm going to allow you... You can either stick with what you have there, or you can succeed at a cost.
What would the cost be?
The cost in this instance is that your answer will be taken literally, and you will be set an additional task to do. For no massive other... it's not going to be for massive other benefit beyond the fact that they're just going to call your bluff on what you said.
I will succeed at a cost.
Okay.
That when you said succeed at a cost, it was...
I spent a long time studying at the foot of Titus for this moment. And so thank you, Titus, all those times.
And of course, I spent a lot of time studying Plucky Jake.
So yeah, the herald will say, "So you consider yourself to be an excellent distraction, and also for tasks that require physical prowess."
I believe so.
Well, I am sure that Oxfordshire can find use for such a talent. Indeed, there is something, was there not, my prince, that might require someone to be a, shall we say, distraction that is capable of withstanding something physical? Were you not saying something of that nature only the other day, my prince? So you were. Yes. Well, we will, of course, be in contact about that soon, but for now, the prince has allowed you to leave. Come with me.
Thank you. It's...
So you stand, you're taken out,
Expecting to see Theodora and Velvet wherever I'm going.
So as you're walking along, before you get to wherever you're going, you find Finn is waiting. And Finn says, Jason, I'm here because... and before he can finish, the Herald's expression, if anything, looks even more unimpressed. I suppose you are here at the behest of Sir James himself. Finn says, aye, that's right. Yeah, I'm here for Silas. It's a great honour. So it is. And even I would not stand in the path of one of our great founding knights. And then he leans a little closer to you and says quietly, I do wish you the best of luck, Silas.
Thank you very much. I hope I don't need it, but thank you very much all the same.
You will. And then he says, when you are finished, he looks to Finn, with Silas, please could you return him here so that I might take him to the others?
Or his remains.
And Finn says, aye, of course, yeah. Right, Silas, let's go. So he'll start taking you away. Oh, just as a question, do you have your phone with you?
Yes, I would. It would currently be on silent.
So, but it will vibrate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you are walking with Finn. You seem to be leaving the museum again. And he says, so, how'd it go?
And I think it went all right. And
Wait.
The
All right.
What
What do you mean, all right?
The Prince through the Herald appears to have a task for me that they'll send to me in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, that's good. So you caught their eye. They thought, here's a man we can use. Oh, that's very good.
Yes, that's good. And,
Excellent.
admittedly, I am a little hungrier than I normally am.
How hungry are you?
It's
Right, look. This is a very difficult time to be hungry because
I know
we're going to meet Sir James. Sir James himself, the Black Douglas. We're going to meet him in the flesh.
I know, and it's a thing of
and he's waiting on us because he wants to go to court. So I can't do anything about it now. I mean, how desperate are you? I mean, are we talking very desperate?
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm very desperate, but I don't think I'm far from becoming that.
Right. If you think you're on the line, you tell me. I mean, we might have to do something a bit drastic, but I'd rather that than have you,
yes,
here
but of
of all places. Okay. You tell me. I'll check in with you after this.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So he'll take you back into the chapel, and now there is. Finn opens the door and says, "Right, I'll be waiting for you here.
Any advice on what I should do?
Just whatever he says. Make sure you look him in the eye, okay?"
Do I need to kneel before him or not?
Aye.
Kneel before him. Okay. Okay.
So he opens the door for you.
And I take a deep breath and step inside.
You step inside. He shuts the door behind you. So there is a man waiting at the far end, but he's standing. He looks... It's hard to place exactly, but you guess him to be somewhere in his mid to late 50s, maybe. He has a thick grey moustache and a thick, full grey beard as well. I say the moustache separately because the moustache kind of sits over the top of the beard, if you know what I mean. It's quite a thick, defined thing of itself. And then you've got this beard that comes down. Quite hard-looking brown eyes. He is wearing chainmail and a long leather coat. And there is a sword that looks like it would need at least two hands to wield, that is currently held in front. He has his hands resting on the pommel. And he's standing there looking somewhat like you've just been in here, so you know it's not a statue. But otherwise you could mistake him for a statue because he's not blinking, he's not breathing, he's just standing there. What are you going to do?
I'm going to walk calmly to a respectful distance in front and take a knee.
Okay. So you take a knee in front of him. He's definitely someone who you have that sense of him filling the space, but there is also a sense of energy around this man, of barely contained energy. Although he is not moving, you can almost feel the kind of like as if there was some kind of vibration of the blade or something. And he looks at you and he says, "So, What's your name?
Silas Shaw, sir.
You're one of mine.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel it?
I believe I do, sir.
My blood in your veins.
Yes, sir.
My power. My rage.
Yes, sir.
Do you know, as you get older, your blood will get stronger. Your rage will get stronger too.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how you stop it controlling you?
Yes, sir.
Enlighten me.
We serve not the beast, we serve Oxfordshire. We focus our energies on serving the prince.
Aye, well said. But we also do something else. We take that rage and that power and we focus it on the thing we want. Now I need to see if you can control that blood, my blood, in your veins or not. So, Silas, tell me, who has wronged you in the past? Who do you hate?
Man named Eric.
A mortal man?
Yes.
What has this Eric done to you, Silas?
Not directly to me, but to those that I care for.
Aye. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to undo Eric.
To kill him.
Undo. How you do it is up to you. Maybe death is what this man deserves. Maybe ruin is what this man deserves. Maybe enforced solitude is what this man deserves. I'll leave that up to you. But you will undo this man, so he will not hurt those who you love ever again. And when you have done that, you'll come back to me and tell me just what you did.
Yes, sir.
Well, you should go to court. I will see you there. You may rise, Silas Shaw.
Arise. And when would you like me to have this done by, sir?
It's more important to me that it's done well. But you will not have my favour until it is done.
I understand, sir.
Then you may go.
Thank you, sir. I bow, take a few steps back, turn and leave.
Okay, so you leave the chapel. Finn's there. Once you're a little way away from the chapel, he says, well, whatever happened was between you and Sir Douglas. I take it went okay.
Yes, I think so.
Right, good.
He's a man.
Aye, isn't he? He's amazing. Aye, I love him. He's the best. I mean, it's like someone's walked out of history and he's like even better than he was in the stories. It's incredible.
I mean, I probably shouldn't, but I really want to see him swing that sword at someone.
Well, if you play your cards right, you might just do that.
And he as I was walking there, he must have been in some of those ancient battles in history, and what would have been like to have been fought along such a legend.
You know, technically speaking, I think, he's certainly Scotland, if not one of the world's first documented terrorists. Quite incredible.
Yeah, you may want to fight this out even more now, because that would be.
I will. You know, that's exactly what I want too. You know, to stand beside that man and fight being correct. Anyway, we should get you to court.
Yes. And is there any potential chance we could get a little second, just so I can be as appropriate as possible?
But there's not much time for that. I mean, I think You can't miss your entrance.
Yes,
Your
that's
phone will vibrate in your pocket.
Give me just 1 second, and
Are you serious?
it's,
Is that Sir Douglas on the phone? Do you think it's more important than you checking your phone?
yeah. I just have just in case it's. Oh boy.
So when you check the phone, you will see that it is a text from Velvet.
It's just the coterie. They'll be in court. It'll be fine.
Next time you answer your phone when we're about to go into court, when you're hungry, all right, unless it's the flippin' prince, I tell you, I will take that phone and I will smash it into a million pieces, okay?
My apologies.
And let me tell you this while we're here. They don't like phones in court. So you keep that tucked away, all
And I
right?
will off the phone.
The prince will lose it if he sees you with a phone in court.
Good to know. Thank you.
So you head back to the Museum of Natural History, and as you're coming into the court, you will hear the voice of the herald. As you're going, Finn will be going, actually, I think we're a little bit late.
Yeah, I believe so.
You kind of hustle.
Hustle.
And you have that thing where, you hustle really, really fast, and then you get to the actual court itself, and then you suddenly, like, slow down and, like, check everything, make sure... And then as you're stepping in, you'll hear the herald's voice say, "And the first one will be..." But wait, what is this? and he turns around as you come in and says, "It seems another fledgling has slipped in. This one is Silas Shaw, child of Finley Douglas. Silas, perhaps you should come forward, join your coterie."
For the test of metal, I believe I will.
"What is this, assembled kindred of Oxfordshire? Do we have another requesting a test of metal?"
And I step into line. Yes.
So you will see that Soap is not in that line. She's a
Yep.
step back, but they're all standing there. You will also see Joanne is in chains, and you will also see Sir Francis, who is even bigger than you. I mean, you're probably putting that as probably just the armour, right? But anyway, who is also sort of standing close by. And the herald says, "Not quite so fast, Silas. We must see if the prince, in his benevolence, will allow a fourth test of metal. Honestly, at this rate, there will be no other business completed." And he goes over to the prince. There is a bit of time. Not a lot of time. And then he says, "Ah! In his infinite benevolence, the prince has indeed allowed Silas Shaw to take his test of metal with his coterie. I do not think we have ever had a coterie take a test of metal all at once. Truly, this is an occasion for the history books." Now, as I was saying, the first to take the test of metal will be Velvet Riley. So for those of you watching at home, just so as you know, I have pre-rolled the Scourge's check for each member, and I rudely assumed that Silas would also take the test of metal, so I prepped his as well. But what we don't yet know is how they're going to withstand this. And the way it's going to work is the Scourge is going to gently tap or brutally assault the coterie as befits their whim. And based on the amount of damage they take, that will impact on the difficulty of the roll the character is going to make. So players, for your benefit, it's not about whether you take damage or not, it's about whether you can withstand it, and also how well. Do you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger after he's been punched and just don't even flicker? Or are you sent screaming for your sire as you run across the court floor? So,
Depending on what it is, it can be either.
I won't be screaming for my sire. No matter what.
that I guarantee.
I guarantee. Whatever willpower spend I need.
So the Scourge will come and stand in front of you, and you're aware. You feel suddenly very small. Perhaps the saving grace is that she does not take the flail from her side. She simply raises a gauntleted fist.
Yes, everything's coming up velvet.
Takes a half step back. Raises her hand in an almost kind of ceremonial way, and a hush falls about the court. Everyone's attention, it feels, is on you at this moment. And then will swing forward. The thing that will strike you, apart from the Scourge, is that Wallace wasn't lying. So, you are struck, you will feel, you're not sure if the rib breaks, but you certainly feel a bend of the bone as you are struck. And you will take 14 superficial damage, which is halved to 7.
Holy shit!
It's an optional test of mettle.
That's a
gotta be hard.
It's got to be hard.
So what I would like you to do is make... Because the thing about this roll is your ability to withstand it. So
Yeah, that's what happened
I
to
like
me.
the idea,
Happened
like,
to me.
and the
Yeah.
tooth spins out. I would like you to make a roll, and the pool for this is stamina plus your choice of resolve or composure. And in the moment that you are struck, you also have this kind of moment of realization that Wallace sometimes has tried to teach you about withstanding things better or being stronger. But also you had this memory of when Theo tried to bear down on you. And although this is a physical strike, it is also an imposition of will. It is a physical intimidation thing alongside it. So for your pool,
Yep.
your stamina, your choice of composure or resolve,
Yep.
and also your fortitude can all make up your pool. Again, you can rouse for this roll if you want, and
Yep.
you can also use
I feel
willpower.
like I should do all those things.
Would you like to know what the difficulty is you're trying to meet?
Absolutely,
Your
yeah.
difficulty is 3.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say 9.
No.
No, that'll just be Theo's.
It's not equal to the damage. It is affected by the damage, though.
Okay. So if I rouse, I get 1 more dice.
Correct.
And then if I spend willpower,
You
remind me.
can
don't you?
re-roll
You
up to
re-roll.
3 black
Okay, so I don't
dice.
have to do that yet.
No. You only do that if things go badly.
Okay.
If things go badly. Oh!
Critical?
Happy
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
6.
6. But I've got one. I've got.
So that's a critical one.
That's a critical win. So that's
okay.
4 successes.
But I only need 3, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So I don't
So
need
you're
to
fine.
spend it. Okay. Yes.
You did
Obviously,
it.
the
No need
greater
for
the
willpower.
margin, the better. But obviously, a critical win always is wonderful because it will give you a kind of a story bonus.
Okay.
So, the thing that's worth mentioning is, when you're filling in your health track, you fill it with 1 strike for each superficial until you run out of boxes, and then you go back to the start and you start to refill in.
Okay.
Now, assuming, as I know is the truth, you have filled all of your health boxes, that will then make you impaired, which means after this check onwards, any physical checks you do are at -2 dice,
Okay.
until one of your health boxes is no longer checked.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
And the additional boxes, when you do your second strike, become aggravated damage. Aggravated damage
Okay.
is bad because it's harder to heal.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm going to... and the other thing to mention, because Velvet will know this, even if Bex is still,
Yes.
sussing the
Processing
rules,
it. Yep.
is that you can, for a rouse check, heal superficial damage at any time, even whilst you're doing other things.
Okay.
And it is often worth doing that so that you're no longer impaired.
Okay.
We can worry about all that in future.
Okay.
So, let's describe what happens, shall we?
Yes.
So your total of successes was
4.
with a
I-
crit,
with
6 with a crit win.
Yes.
So you beat by a margin of 3, and you got a crit win on top.
Yes.
Okay, it is like being hit by a train, but
Sounds a lot.
you've been hit quite a lot, almost as if somebody was preparing you for this moment, because
Such benevolence.
it is shocking being hit, but actually it's not like the first time you were hit. It's not a shock in the same way. You've been warned it's going to be hard. You're braced for it. And if there's one thing you're good at doing, it's putting on a face that for the crowd. And that is exactly what you do. You are like rocked very slightly backwards, but you don't even take a step back.
Okay.
Your whole body shakes.
Yes.
You feel it. You've never been hit this hard before. but somehow you've braced yourself, you steel yourself, and you will note a few people. Well, you probably won't actually. You're just looking at the Scourge, but some of the rest of you may notice there are the odd few nods. Oh, okay. I mean, the prince doesn't move, but the herald does go, And there are a few other kindred around, do seem to note it. And the herald says, "Rejoice, for our first has passed their test of mettle." And there is some applause. And some of the knights will bang gauntlets against their armour. And it goes on for maybe 5 seconds. And then it goes quiet again. And then the herald says, "You may..." Yeah, you have to make a rails check for your... You know, you did a blood surge for the check?
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
now roll a dice to see if you get hungry.
Yes, I did that. I'm not hungry.
did.
Yes.
Awesome. So
Yes.
what hunger are you on now?
2.
So you're on hunger 2, okay. Now, let us see if the next fledgling is as impressive. A high bar indeed has been set. Next, we will have Silas Shaw of Clan Bruya.
Ready to be last?
And
Absolutely not.
the Scourge will come to
You're the
you.
one in chains.
Anything that I should know about that you're doing before the Scourge does what she's going to do?
Would my stunt specialty come into play here? Because I know how to take a hit.
Ooh!
Never.
I tell you what,
Rolling
yes.
with a
You know
punch or
what? I
something?
will give you your stunt specialty to your pool. Not the skill, just the
Yeah.
specialty. That's
Yeah.
a nice call. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So she will raise her hand in that ritual manner again. And again, there is that sense of everything going quiet, the focus coming down upon you. And then the Scourge will strike. You will take 10 superficial, halved to 5.
I'm impaired, but I'm not aggravated.
Again, you can heal superficial to not be impaired.
Yep.
So, you are going to be making a similar pool. It's stamina plus your choice of composure or resolve, and
Yep.
you can add your specialty for stuntman. None of your other specials, I think, are going to impact on this roll. Again, you can rouse and you can willpower. Your difficulty is 3.
I can't be rousing at this point. Because I'm a hunger 3. Rousing is bad at this point. I'm going to willpower that.
Oh my god.
And that's a risk. That's a very big risk.
Yeah.
Massive crit.
We have our first
Yeah.
miss critical of the game.
Okay,
For
excellent.
6 successes.
Excellent. All right. So,
I knew it was a risk, but fuck it, I was taking that risk.
all right. So what we're going to say is this. I would also like you to make another roll. I would like you to make a test against Frenzy,
Fury friends.
Fury Frenzy, because someone just punched you really hard, and you're not very happy about it. Your beast
-1.
flared.
Aggro.
The -1 is the one with her.
Yeah. So current willpower -1.
3.
Okay. So here's what happens. The Scourge strikes you. You take the punch, you go with the punch, but sometimes, you know, in the stunt shows, people accidentally catch you and it does hurt a lot more. This is not like that at all. This is like you are shaken to your core by this blow. And there isn't a moment of kind of shock and pain, but it's followed actually very quickly by outrage. And so instead of being knocked backwards or curling or anything, you immediately square up to the Scourge in a kind of, I'm here, and you bare your fangs. And you feel for a moment like a red mist starting to descend, and some part of you manages to hold off, but it takes everything you have, and you're kind of quivering with the effort. But you're kind of, you've puffed yourself up, you know, puffed out your chest. You're like looking right up to the Scourge, and you're close enough. You can see through the slit of the Scourge's visor. It looks almost weirdly, almost as if her eyes are kind of floating within the helm, and you can see veins. But again, it looks like they are just there in space. It's very, very strange, and you can make out like the contours of her skull, the little bit you can see around the eyes. It is the strangest thing. But in that moment, who cares? You want to just tear her flipping head off. But you don't. However, it is clear to everyone that he is wrestling and that he has bared his fangs in anger at Scourge. And when you have sort of recovered, the Scourge, by the way, just stands silently as if daring you to do anything. The herald says, "An impressive display of strength, if not decorum." And you take a stain. Do you have any convictions you feel you can level? Like, nobody gets to punch me.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Eye for an eye.
Okay.
Being punched by armored lady, not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should probably bring on his fangs now, shouldn't I?
You should. They fell
So-
out my mouth when I got hit.
The herald will
You
say,
picked up velvet.
"Nevertheless, the test of metal is passed." But there is definitely a kind of mug to camera of the herald afterwards, say but not very well. And you are kind of relieved of the attention of the court. But we are only halfway through our tests of metal.
Pleasure knowing you.
It is the prince's wish that next we see how our Toreador, Joanne Olivia Salt, fares. We are most interested to see whether she will have the strength to match this spirited and dramatic gesture. So the herald stands back. Scourge comes to you and again raises her fist. There is again that collective quiet. Anything I should know? No, you're just going to stand there and take it. So one thing that will strike those of you who are observing this is that when the Scourge hits Joanne, she does not hit her quite the same way she hits you two. So with the two of you, she hit you fairly square in the chest. With Joanne, she strikes lower. Those of you with any academics, or yeah, I'll say with any academics, will probably realise, Joanne will definitely realise this. This is a symbolic gesture that you are not worthy of the same status as these other two, and therefore you're being struck a lower blow than them. You are struck closer to your hip. Now they look like they were hit really hard, so you are expecting to be hit really hard. You are hit so hard, you feel your hip crack.
Oh!
You take, let me just see if I've got this right. Yeah, you take 15 superficial, which is halved to 8. And it looks like the aim of this blow is to drive you to your knees. So, your pool is stamina and your choice of resolve and composure. I will also, though, because this is about keeping your feet, allow you to employ your celerity, because you have Cat's Grace to keep your feet.
Yeah, I'm around here. I didn't drop the dice.
Okay.
So, cool.
Your difficulty, by the way, is 4.
Whoa, oh. Okay, she made it, but with a messy crit so far. She has exactly 4 successes with a messy crit. Thing is,
I'm rerolling.
if you reroll all their dice and you get a 10, you can make a happy crit.
I know.
Oh,
I'm not taking that risk.
okay, you don't want to make it a messy crit. Okay, you still got a messy critical. She rerolled the 10 that she could, but still, she has 5 successes, messy crit.
Okay.
It was a smart choice. Bad luck, but smart choice.
So, you are struck hard enough to... You don't go down onto your knee, but you do slide backwards. But you don't go down. However, the beast in you flares. And much like Silas, you will have to make whatever your current willpower is, plus your plus 2 dice to check against frenzy.
whatever willpower you have left, and you add 2 because of your humanity.
Yep.
So the beast flares as you are struck by the
Priest
scourge.
chests.
Again, like Silas, you are able to withstand the blow. You do not go on your knee, but when you look up at the scourge defiantly, it is also with the defiance of the fangs in your mouth. And
Enough of an example.
the herald says,
Sort of.
"Oh dear. It seems there is strength, but a long way in terms of education." You too will take a stain. Unless you again have a conviction, you can level against it.
No one will humiliate me or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's like I bow to no one, that kind of thing, I'd say yeah, you can knock it. There is a strange solemnity. And the herald says, "So far, it seems the Ventru are setting the best example. Let us see if it is followed. For last, we have Theodore Penn. Someone who comes to us with something of a reputation for having fought the good fight, even as a mortal. The question is, can he stand up to a true knight, as well as he did a lesser enemy?" And the Scourge will come up to you. Now, you've been quite close watching this. There is a difference in the way the Scourge approaches you. There's a sort of... eagerness is the wrong word, but there is a sense that this feels different. This just feels different.
The flail or something?
No, she does not take the flail out. She does
2 fists.
raise a fist. There's just something different about her posture, her manner. There's something in you, and you just think, this is not good.
Can I use my brawl to roll with the punch or something so I don't die?
So, we'll come to your pool in a second. When the Scourge goes to strike Theodore, in the moment where she's starting to commit, and you can tell that there's something different about it, all of you feel quite uneasy. I mean, especially Theodore, but the three of you, you have this something feels wrong. Something feels bad. And instead of being this kind of ritual just like raise and strike, she surges towards Theodore and just lunges into him with 2 fists. And it is inelegant. It is angry. It is horrendous. There is something really uncomfortable about it. It feels very at odds with everything else that's happened. So Theodore, you are going to take 15 superficial as well, halved to 8. I still want you to make your check.
Yes.
Because depending on your... the question is not whether you will go down or not, it's how long you can stand up.
A different kind of test.
It's a different kind of test. So
And
it is also composure and resolve.
Composure.
Composure or resolve, plus stamina, plus fortitude.
I cannot roll with a punch or any of that. But
If you've got a specialty, I might. No. Okay, so obviously you can rouse.
cooking.
Sadly, no. I admire your attempt.
One of us has a specialty.
Yes, I rouse.
Okay.
Are you telling me I couldn't put my mathematics specialty towards that?
Yes. Yeah, you haven't got combat maths specialty.
It's bad, right?
How,
I don't even know what the difficulty is.
You don't. But I'm going to...
I
So I assume you're going to spend willpower.
depends on
Yes, I
what-
am.
Excellent.
I'm judging off Elaine's face. So.
So I should say, whilst he's calculating his dice, the court actually gasp when this happens.
Oh my god!
It's awful, right?
If you treat them that way, that's what they're going to do to you.
3 successes.
Total.
The difficulty you're looking to hit is 4. I will allow you to succeed at a cost, but it is an ugly cost.
What's the cost?
The cost will be the beast will stay standing, not you. Yeah. But you will pass the test of metal. But it will be the beast that passes, not you.
No, it goes against my convictions.
Okay.
I think I just fly to the back wall and fall into torpor.
So, the Scourge strikes Theodore in this really quite violent display, and Theodore does literally fly through the air as if he has been struck by a car. And he sails. There are all these different, in the museum, like display cases and things, and he flies far enough that he actually hits one of them, and there is the shattering sound of glass as he collapses. And that is where we'll go for a break.
My dice hate me. I have passed like one check in the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let me see if I go hungry. No, I don't. I still
There you
have
go.
one.
It's all right. It's all right.
I was thinking about. I think I was thinking about rousing for that. Right? I was thinking, I'm on 3 hunger. Fuck that.
Oh wow.
Okay, so first we're going with speaking sake. I was calling last week for a shout out. We were doing something similar to Malop, which was Moses' amazing list of places. And in this case, it's gonna be. Now we found what the hashtag is gonna be. We discussed talons and all that.
Yep.
So yes, it's gonna be talons, but it's gonna be the blood on the talons. Hashtag BOT talons, because it's blood on the Theodore's list of approved Theodore's approved list of nice sites. So we have 3 people that had added where they're watching us from, and we have people from Greenville, Texas in the USA, Ariel in Israel, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. So thank you very much to all of you. You are amazing. So remember, hashtag BOT talons. Blood on the talons. Relationship map time.
Thank you very much. Mistake. So, relationship map, obviously from last week. Big update for the relationship map. Probably more this week as well. So we've added the various families. So Rafe and Rupert and his child Jeffrey and Anne. And then Alistair and Thorn, his ghoul, and Meliore.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in because for those people who support us on Patreon, there is, depending on your level of support, a thing where you get to name SPCs in the Chronicle. And a few of those names have actually popped up, but Thorn, I believe, is the first named SPC who has appeared in a scene. So shout out to Cricket for naming Thorn.
Yay! Thank you, Cricket. So Thorn is up there now. And then, of course, I should have started with this. Obviously, the Prince. We've added the Prince at the top of the relationship map. And Sir Francis. And Jason. And then Soap. And actually from the previous episode, we've added Silas's mum and dad.
Aww.
Mumsy and dad.
Yes. So, and also in addition to that, we've started adding some directional arrows. So they kind of denote dominance. So the arrow goes from the sire to the child, or then from the dominator to the ghoul, so that you can have a bit of an idea of where those interactions are lying. So we might do a few more bits and pieces like that in the future.
Any new tags?
Any new tags? Let me just think. No, I don't think so. Oh, I think Clan Nosferatu, because there weren't any until now.
And now we have them.
And now we have them. So I think we have all of those, and then otherwise than that, there are all the knights are tagged as knights. And all of the, I don't know if court officers is the right word, but the herald and the gatekeeper and the prince, and then Sir Francis, they all have their titles. So, but they're not tags, they're just in the...
No.
So...
And you might have already mentioned this, but obviously it's on the website under the ShrekNet files page if you want to check it out.
No, that was lovely of you. I fail to do that every single time. So thank you.
One thing I wanted to mention on the relationship map when it came around, it's being specially developed to help people who are colourblind.
Oh,
yes, indeed, yeah.
Yes, very good point.
So I've been like, I sent this whole chart of like different types of colourblindness to Bex.
And I sent loads of stuff back to Lane that was just not appropriate. I can't see that, can't read that, can't do that. Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm glad we did this.
What the hell are you on about?
Yeah. Tritanopic and protanopic, we've got you. Deutanopic, I'm sorry, we don't. We can't do all of them.
I think that was it. Or are we missing something?
There is one more thing we need to talk about.
Yes.
So we do have an exciting thing, which is
A thermal detonator.
it's even more exciting than a thermal detonator, believe it or not. We have a giveaway. Amis, you may know him as Amis Unbalanced, but you may also know him as Chris. Is amongst many things a jeweler, and he has handcrafted for your pleasure a piece of jewellery, which I'm going to hold up, hopefully, to get it in shot. I'm going to glance across at Callum in case he's like, no, you failed. It's not even a...
Bit up, but we also have it like enlarged on the screen.
Oh, see, there you go. I've been out-teched.
Yeah.
I've been out-teched. All right, good. So this is specially created for Blood on the Thames, our previous chronicle. And essentially, the way you get involved in the draw to win it is by supporting us on Patreon. So if you already support us on Patreon, then you are already in. And I should also add, if you support us on Twitch, you are already in.
Except if you're Amis, because I assume
yeah.
you don't want to be
Yeah.
the giveaway. But let us know, because I mean,
If
you
want
might,
it back,
if you want it back,
Yeah.
there's a chance.
If you don't think everyone else deserves it and you want to be in to win, that's absolutely fine. And I would also say, if you are supporting us and you persuade someone else to come in and support us, they will obviously go into the draw, but you will also get an additional chance to win as well. So there's sort of an incentive to do that.
Basically, anyone you bring along, whenever they become a Twitch subscriber or a patron, just let us know who recommended them, so that you get your additional vote. So the more people you bring, the more your name goes into the whole pool of names that we're gonna draw from.
Yeah, and I think we're going to let this run for a good few weeks.
Yeah, end of season.
So I was going to say, we will do the draw on the last episode of season 1. And I will also put full details of the draw and the rules and more pictures of the prize onto the blog on Sunday.
And also we will be reminding people from week to week. So
Yeah, we may mention it once or twice or maybe, I don't know,
Twice.
6 times
6 times.
in the future as well.
do we have any questions from chat, Callum?
Oh, we have plenty.
No.
First off, everyone's going to give everyone their love.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Oh, can I just say on that note, we did give the Dylan the love that you sent last week.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was
and,
overwhelmed.
and he was touched, which is hard to do, let me tell you.
It broke into pose. I've never seen that before in my life.
Okay, so I'm going to be the master of horribly mispronouncing everyone's names, so I do
Oh,
apologise.
Okay.
But she was told us to know that you are awesome.
Thank you.
And everyone love.
Oh.
Someone mentioned Line's costume was. Here we go. Cricket, please tell Line I love a costume.
Lane has the
Lane.
touch.
Yeah, you wait till the Christmas episode. It's gonna...
Yeah, Lane has the touch for the costume.
what, you think I don't have shit planned already for that?
Okay, and apparently it's a Callum Appreciation Week according to
Yay.
Mr. Mallet. So
Hey! we
thank you, Disaster Goals, for tolerating all my mistakes, and it's wonderful. Thank you so much. Guys.
and we
For
do...
those of you who are playing the home game, Callum is otherwise known as Tech Ghoul number A. So we have mentioned him in the past. It's Callum.
So thank you so much for that. Okay, so first question. What are your Halloween plans?
Halloween clan.
No, plans.
My Halloween plans. Probably trick or treating with my nephews. It's sort of became a tradition since they started trick or treating.
I'm working.
I will be playing Call of Cthulhu.
I may or may not be in a rehearsal for a local little amateur pantomime. If not, I will probably be taking the advantage of the time to sleep.
I will be taking my son to a Halloween party to which I'm not invited. And then I'll be coming home and eating lots of sweets.
Oh, speaking of Halloween party, huge shout out to Imsivert,
Yeah.
who was in a Halloween party last week.
Oh my god, that was
Dressed as Moses.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures.
That is amazing.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I was at a loss of words. I felt very honored that someone would take the effort and the time to do something with a character I created. So thank you very much. It looked amazing.
This could be our first cosplay.
I think that might be the first cosplayer of one of the characters.
So Moses won that race.
And we do have a photo, and it will go up on the blog on Sunday.
Thank you. It's very
Amazing.
amazing.
I will also be going to my office Halloween party on Halloween as Velvet.
Oh,
At
nice.
the request of my office.
Yes, really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Next question, Callum.
What were the idea behind your character concepts? Like, what was the idea behind them? Like, how did you come up with them?
Yes. Can you do spoiler-free answers to this
I
question?
can. You
I
go,
can't.
you go, you go.
I literally
So
can't.
remember back in like Blood on the Thames book 1 when someone asked, do you have backup characters? and like there was a question in an interval pretty much like this, is like, have you thought of backup characters and what would they be? And Peter and I were very vague. It's like, yeah, we have like backup characters. Yeah, we have thought of some concepts of some clans, but we didn't want to say anything. The concept of Theodore had been one of them. Like someone, like, well, pretty much what you know of Theodore, the whole concept had already been thought of. It comes from inspirations from, I think it's like 5 different movies that came to mind when we were just a random night, Peter and I sitting and reading through something in the book. So some of them are sort of accurate in what they try to depict, others not so much. But I think, well, in my mind, The Godfather, The Outsider, and I think it was, what was it? And Rashomon would be high on the list.
I mean, like I said, I can't do a spoiler-free version of what inspired me to make Joanne, and Pete's grinning because he knows. But I will say she is like kind of a character I've adapted from my Monster of the Week game that I run. So if any of you are in there, this is not the same Joanne. You can't use this information that you're leaving here.
Use it.
You can't.
I would say this character is also a port. He's existed in various iterations for a long time, probably about 10 or 15 years. And so I wanted to do. I've never done a version of him in Modern Knights, so this is the first one.
Well, for me, after the saga of for Jim and Sarah,
Saga of Jim and Sarah. There's a song
the rage of Jim and the terror of Sarah were very different, and different ones to play. I want to play something different with more charisma. And of course, deliberately stepping away from Fortitude, which I miss so much right now. I miss that so much right now. Jim, So I want to kind of what a performer would be, what would have to kind of deal with, and there was I had a few thoughts where of course I discussed with Peter, and we end up coming with the stuntman. Like fuck for the stunts.
You see, it's the specialty that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I intend to make sure that keeps on fucking giving.
So it's a good thing you didn't go with the other one with glass bones and.
Yeah.
Paper skin.
Those expensive specialism are worth it now.
I wasn't really thinking of just a pure singer. It's like, but that in this case that would have been
That
I
would
would
have been
have
to get punched across the room and fall into top 4 immediately.
exactly.
was surprised.
You are our first torpor.
And Joanne is 1 away.
Yeah.
She's 1
I'm
superficial
like
damage
2
away.
away.
Well, even without Jim, I still only have superficial damage. I have no aggravated.
Yeah, so obviously just for reference, aggravated, you can't just heal with a single rouse. You can only heal when you wake for the night. One point. But superficial, you can heal for 1. Unless you've got higher blood potency, you'll be healing 1 superficial per rouse.
So we're going to be feeling a lot.
Any more questions,
Not
Callum?
while I'm hungry.
Oh yeah, like everyone just decided to ask. Every
Well,
single question.
this is awesome, and thank you
Thank
for all
you.
your questions. We do love to hear them.
Exactly. So, how was BristolCon?
Ooh, BristolCon was really nice. In fact, we got to meet Amis / Chris, which was really good, and have the kind of ceremonial handover of the giveaway prize.
And I had to sleep for work
I-
for it.
The Amis very much snuck up on me. I was like, hey, "Is this when I was going to start joking?" And he turns a little badge. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's you!" Oh,
Yeah, it was a little less. It was more anticlimactic. It's like, oh, shall we do the thing? Yes. Peter, turn around.
I would
It's a
say
nice
though,
time.
what it lacked in surprise, it made up for with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, it was a good hug
It was a
ambush.
good time, and the BristolCon in general, the talks were really interesting. I found them really interesting. A lot of writers reading their material, Peter
Yes.
included. He moderated a panel about heroes.
And there was something about dolphin noises.
It was after all the talks when we were at the bar, like.
I believe you had a few drinks at that point, and then Carlos made a critical will on a persuasion check.
Something like that. So for those of you who don't know, BristolCon is a convention for genre science fiction and fantasy, and you have lots of writers, and you also have two guests of honor, one who's a writer and one who's an artist every year. It's a lovely convention. It's very it's quite small in terms of its layout, so it's very easy to find everybody. And they had because it was like an anniversary BristolCon, they had a live 4-string
A quartet.
a quartet.
A
There
string
you
quartet.
go. I knew the word string and 4 was involved.
Yep.
A string quartet because it was the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, which was amazing. It was a really nice time. And so if you can, do come to BristolCon, because we will almost
Yes.
certainly be there next
Yes.
year, and we would love to make a fuss of you.
Right. Next question. Who's everyone's favourite Star Wars character?
Han Solo.
Yeah, but you're
Han Solo,
talking to
obviously.
a guy who was born in Star Wars. Like, how can I make that decision?
It's obviously Han Solo.
Han Solo
Obviously.
is the easiest
He's
choice.
absolutely.
I would have said something like R2, but
Hang on, I want to know what Lane has to say.
I don't like Star Wars.
We're
I need
all
another
entitled.
seat now.
We're all entitled to our own opinion,
Even if they're
even if they're wrong.
even if they're wrong.
Now.
I mean, probably Han Solo. Probably.
Good choice. So,
Any more, Callum?
I think that's mostly it for questions.
Excellent. That was a good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all. So, shall we get back to it?
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roleplay.
So,
Yep.
the three of you will have heard. You will have heard the sound of bone cracking when Theodore is struck, and it looks like he was struck in the chest. So that does seem like a bad sign. He will have literally, as I say, been launched into the air across the room, into one of the display cases. There is shattering glass and things inside which are probably actually quite valuable and shouldn't be knocked around. And he collapses. And he looks, to all intents and purposes, I should say, like a corpse.
Can I go over to him?
You can, if you want to.
Yeah.
Can you make... what's your intelligence and politics pool?
Fine.
So halved would be
2.
2. You don't think you should do that just yet?
This is my brother. I'm not supposed to have
You can-
false words between him or something.
You can totally do it.
Okay.
You can totally do it if you want to. You just have that feeling that maybe you're supposed to stand very still until things are over. But you can.
I'll stay still and standing still.
Okay. So you look. You have that urge to go, but you check it for the moment. But you're ready. You're on your starter blocks. Just to say, by the way, Joanne, your impairment at the moment is relating to your ability to walk. You can move, and luckily you won't fall over. Whatever happens, it's just harder.
And what's my impairment for?
Heal?
Your impairment is just
being
in your body, so it's movement to the body, but you can walk okay, but it's still painful for you. Again, you can of course heal at any time if you want to rouse for superficial.
I've just got busted rib, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the herald, there's a slight pause, and the herald says, "It seems the last test of Mettle is failed." And then there is another awkward pause, and the herald sort of glances towards the prince, and then someone steps out of kind of the kind of in the ranks of the crowd. It looks to be quite an elegantly dressed figure who looks to your eyes a lot like a mummified corpse. I mean, quite literally. It's not even, oh, he looks like someone who's dead. He looks like someone has taken him out of the mummy exhibit and stuck him in a suit. Yeah, his skin is, horribly old and decayed looking. You can see like too much of his teeth, and there are a few patches where you can see through the cheeks, that kind of thing. There are a sort of decorative couple of strands of hair that remain on his head, but that's about it. You will see that, however, apart from his head, most of him is covered, like he's wearing leather gloves, for example. So you can't see much of his skin, but his face, which is uncovered, looks pretty awful. There is when he steps forward, he also steps forward quite awkwardly. I mean, you might say for a mummified corpse, it's still a good show, but it looks. He doesn't move fluidly or quickly. It's like it costs him a little bit of effort to do so. You will also note that at his belt is quite a prominent long dagger with a jeweled hilt. And he says, "If no one else will speak, then I will." And he turns to the prince. He says, "Surely this most sacred of traditions should not be handled in this matter. It is a disgrace to the oath. Our business here is to serve you, my prince. This test of Mettle is about serving Oxfordshire and choosing those who are best suited to do it. Yet that one carrying out the test handles themselves in a manner that I find unacceptable." Rafe will also step forward and says, "My prince, I stand with Sir William on this. Can we have your judgment?" And the prince regards them, and then regards the Scourge, and makes a slight gesture. And the herald says, "It would be best if you left this court for now, Sir Francis." And you feel the collective judgment of first the prince, but then the other knights and the court fall upon the Scourge. The Scourge says nothing, but she does bow deeply to the prince, and then walks clanking out of the court. And no one says anything until the last sounds of that armour and the chain of the flail have faded away. Sir William looks to the herald and says, "See that this one is taken care of," points to Theodore. And the herald says, "At once, Sir William," and heads off. And then he seems to give some orders to some people. Everything's very quiet. You think, well, they look like mortals. to your eyes. They might be Kindred using Light of Life, perhaps. But they come and they take Theodore. You think at this point, if you want to act, by the way, Velvet, you probably could.
But they're taking away something.
It looks like they're going to do that, yeah.
I mean, my goal was to see if he, not to see if he was okay. Clearly, I know that he's not okay, but was to help him.
Sure.
So I will probably still do that.
Okay, so you go with these people and you help lift him. Are the two of you doing anything, or are you remaining where you stand?
I think I'll be going with Velvet.
Okay.
Taking recovery.
So between the four of you, it's actually very easy to lift Theodore. Theodore's chest looks like it's slightly caved in, and he is not breathing or moving in any way. You're assumably remaining on one leg, mostly, chains in front of you.
Can I just hold up, kind of like a, can I get these off now?
You don't have the sense anyone is even looking at you at the moment. They all seem to be paying attention to... Well, they're discreetly kind of looking between the prince and what's going on here.
Let's go.
And you see the Herald and Sir William have a brief exchange, and then the Herald will give some instructions. Sir William, however, will give the two of you a kind of approving nod, and then you help escort Theo from the chamber. And then the Herald will turn and say, now that this most eventful business is behind us, court may begin. And the people kind of break from that kind of vaguely circular formation into various groups of people that seem to know each other or what have you. So you are standing there.
Probably just shuffle over to find a place to sit down.
So you, there don't seem to be many chairs about, but you are kind of starting to shuffle your way over to find them. On your way, you will see someone coming over to you. And it looks like they're heading, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe they're heading somewhere else, but you happen to cross paths, unless you're going to try and actively hop away with Sir Wallace.
Aren't you regarding?
Okay. Well, he will put himself in a position where, unless you hop around him, you'll have to look at him.
So I just kind of want a visual, so what, angle would it be coming at?
So he basically is coming in from the side, but he will just lengthen his stride, such that unless you make a real, comedic effort to hop faster, he's just going to come in front of you. He's going to come in front of you.
No, I'll just keep going as I am, kind of pretending I'm not seeing him, and then until he's directly in front.
Well, he will ultimately come directly in front of you. And says, I remember you, Joanne. I must say that was mighty gutsy, what you did there.
I didn't even know what it was.
May I amend my statement? That was mighty stupid, what you did just there, Joanne. Nevertheless, I think it deserves a certain amount of respect. To ask to be chained in this fashion, do you think you've done enough for the prince to let you out of those things yet?
It was symbolic.
Oh, yes, they are. They are symbolic. But until you make a symbolic gesture, such that impresses the prince, they're going to stay on your arms, girl.
So be it.
So be it indeed. You feel like the conversation's come to a natural close, but he doesn't stop talking. He doesn't move aside. He looks like he's about to say something else. He says, now. But as he's doing that, someone comes to join you. And you've not seen them before. I'm just going to find them. Where are you hiding? There you are. So it looks like an Asian woman, probably in her late teens. She is wearing fairly simple silver-rimmed glasses. She has short black hair, and there is a sort of studious look to her. She has brown eyes. She's wearing a high-collared black shirt and what look like quite fashionable designer jeans. And she will say, "I'm sorry to interrupt, Sir Wallace, but I believe you're wanted." This is often the case. Which direction? She says, "Oh, just..." And she'll point over to what look like, judging by the fact they're carrying weapons and things, they're probably other knights. He says, "Much obliged." And then he starts to...
Have a good rest of your night, Sir Wallace.
"You too, Joanne." And he walks off. So she watches for a moment. She says, "Hello, I'm Druti."
I assume you know my name?
She nods. She says, "Are you alright to walk?"
I can.
She says, "Well, then we probably should. Do you want my arm?"
Please.
She'll offer you her arm. And you start making your way. She says, "Because between you and I, they didn't want him." And you hustle to get behind some of the cabinets. And I'll come back to you in a moment. So you two are directed to another room where Theodore is placed. And then these two just seem to leave. So it is currently... So it's just like a side room. There's a table. They've placed him on a table for now.
Chuck him in the closet.
They haven't chucked him in the closet. They've just removed him from court
Okay.
for the moment.
Such a mess.
He's not bleeding everywhere or anything like that. He's just a slightly... Like, his body just looks like it's the wrong shape now. And he's just laying there on a table. It is pretty awful. For those of you who are not used to dealing with corpses...
This is awful.
I mean, obviously, like, Joanne would take this in her stride, but for the rest of you, it might be a bit of a... So, but you are alone if you wish to talk to each other.
Thank you for the text. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure. I mean, we have to wake him up or help him. Do you know how to do that at all?
I'm afraid that I don't. And,
Are you alright?
no, I don't know how to... I think from what Finn told me, it's something tomorrow night, he'll be able to wake up of his own accord.
Well, we can't
Unless-
wake him up before that?
Uh,
We gotta find his sire. She's gotta be still in the court, right? She's gonna be able to help
Probably.
with this. And we gotta find where Joanne is, because she was injured too.
yeah, although I'm not... I am a little more hungry than I would like.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. Things haven't gone well. Right?
Alright,
How are you holding up?
yeah, I'm pretty good, actually, in the scheme of things. I mean, I think it's a couple of busted ribs, but I had that before.
Yeah.
So, I can't leave you here with him, not if you're this sort of hungry. That don't seem like a good idea.
I'm not gonna feel it.
With respect, you don't seem like you're hanging on to things too well right now.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I don't really hurt you as well. That she fucking is hard.
Okay, open the door where we are.
Yeah.
Is there anyone outside the doorway?
You will see two people approaching. You will recognise both of them. One of them is Isabel,
I go to her
and
immediately.
the other one, who's in conversation with her,
Yeah,
is Sir William.
okay.
I'm
They're walking quite slowly.
If you come out better at this than me,
I
Come.
I failed the test. And I am torpor. How is that better?
Yeah.
Like I'm already at a worse state than you are.
you've got a pity of one of the knights now, though.
Okay.
I
So
didn't get
we're
Scourge gets
leaving,
the
yeah.
anger.
you will.
So we will come out of the room and move towards them.
Okay.
I will.
They will come to a natural stop as they reach you.
Sir, ma'am, I was grateful to see you and thank you for your words in the court. We were trying to help Theo this way, but we don't know what we can do to help him.
Isabel says, "Theodore will be in my hands now. I do appreciate you moving him from the court as you did."
All right.
What would you like? Is it? You would just like us to leave him in your custody now? And
Yes, Theodore and I will be remaining here until he is ready to travel again.
Can I take a card from my pocket, give it to her and say, ma'am, if I can help you at all, then
She'll take
please
the
give me a
card.
call.
That is appreciated, Velvet. She says, and of course, when you have all had time to recover, we will gather you all together again.
Of course, ma'am.
I am sure that this will seem shocking, but rest assured that Theodore will recover.
All right, well, thank you, sir.
Sir William will say, it is good to see that the coterie is already starting to look after each other. It is important that all kindred of Oxfordshire have such values. He says, and he looks at you very specifically. He says, a good test.
Thank you, sir.
As many eyes will be on you.
Well, I'll try not to disappoint anyone, sir.
Isabel says, of course. And then looks at you both with a very gentle, like...
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
And she... So Sir William has her arm, and the two of them will make their slow way towards the ring.
The classiest fuck off that you will ever.
I mean, to be
Thank you,
honest,
but-
I'm almost oblivious to it. The normal way that I get told to fuck off. Yeah. Silas, what do you eat? We have to go sort it out.
I think we need to see out court, and then
Well, can you do that at the moment?
I should be alright too. But I think I will likely refrain from much conversation.
All right. Well, let's go find Joanne.
Yeah.
So you make your way back inside. Are you sticking together?
Yes, I'll stick with him.
Okay. You will see, because it's hard for you not to notice, you will see Wallace looking around for someone, it looks like. But not overtly, but
Yeah.
definitely looking around, and there is a very slight frown on his face. But he will...
Is he on his own?
He's standing adjacent to another group who seem to be involved in a conversation. But he will seem to notice you and... well, actually, no, it's not... Let's see if that's true. Does Wallace notice you? Wallace notices you.
I noticed me.
And begins to make his way over.
I'll get this over with. I don't avoid him.
Before he gets there, because he's coming from the other side of the room,
Yeah.
Anne will briefly
okay.
appear. And she says, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
She says, I just wanted to say I thought you were awfully brave, both of you.
Oh,
Isn't
thanks.
the Scourge scary?
Yeah, sure she is.
Are you going to introduce us?
I surely will. Silas, this is Miss Anne Sterling.
She'll do a curtsy.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's a very big pleasure to meet you too.
Relation?
Oh, right, yeah. Sister?
Oh, what a lovely idea. Yes, we're a little bit like sisters.
We're sort of related in that way.
Yes. He's like a yeah, so, I mean, not actually my brother. I have a brother. Oh, I could introduce you a little later, but I just need to, yes, it was Joanne, wasn't it?
Right.
Right, good. I'll go and find her.
All right, I'll catch you later on.
She scurries off, looking very excited.
Don't talk to her about anything.
That's a hell of a person to turn someone that young.
Yeah, well, family has a whole different meaning in my family, so it seems.
I can see that.
So, Wallace will arrive shortly afterwards. He says, well, both of you passed your test
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
in ways that will be remembered one way or the other.
Well, I'm pleased to have done so.
I'm also pleased, Velvet. Very pleased.
As a matter of fact, I was wondering if I might talk to you about something else.
Absolutely, Velvet.
Maybe somewhere else. If you can give us a minute, Silas.
Of course, then I'll step away.
So you step away. Can you make a wits and awareness roll for me at minus a dice? Because obviously Wallace is with you, and he's a bit distracting.
I've only got hunger dice to roll on this.
That's all you have to roll then.
So I just roll one less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have extra dice from hunger dice ever. It's just your whatever your pool would be, and you start.
Okay, so
filling
it's
it with hunger dice
so
first.
but I'm losing one for being. My pool is 2, but
Yes.
I'm losing 1.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone gets excited because it can't.
Fail.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's only one thing better than you doing so well in your test of Mettle. It's when you do so well in your test of Mettle and the rest of your coterie disgrace themselves. Makes for a nice comparison, don't you think? Though I must say, that other Ventru's gonna have to pull up his socks mighty fast.
There were a fair test.
No, it
So
was
when as
not.
the prince said so, and so did Rafe.
Was not a fair test, but nevertheless, it was a failed test. Not all tests are fair. Saw the person taking the test to win. Wouldn't you agree, Velvet?
Sure.
Sure.
I
I
agree.
mean, I don't think Sir Francis went that much easy on you. You just better able to take it.
I
Just
know.
better metal, would you say? Yes, I would say that too. I would say very impressive indeed. So, what is it you wanted to discuss?
I haven't been here this evening and been introduced to the family. I was wondering, Rafe mentioned Seth. And
What
should have
about?
been here. And he wasn't here, right?
That's right.
I was wondering if you wanted me to go pick him up from wherever he's at, so as you can deal with him.
Well, that's a mighty kind offer of you, Velvet. Seth is not going to be a problem this evening, but may well be that I might give you the honor of collecting him and making sure he is properly prepared for the next court.
All right.
Yes, I think you're ready.
Well, thank you, sir. I just wanted to make the offer, you know.
Well, this is a good night for you, Velvet.
So it seems.
I'd like to see much more of that in the future. Talking of the future, when you are more presentable in terms of your physical health, there are certain introductions I might want to make.
Tonight?
Not tonight.
Right.
No, you've done enough tonight. You enjoy yourself. But you've caught the right eyes in the right way, so we might be able to make a few introductions. But only when you're properly recovered.
Right. Well, I'll look forward to that.
Yes, I imagine you will. And he leaves you.
Go back to Silas.
Okay, you go back
Yes.
to Silas. Whilst that's going on, Silas, can you make a wits and awareness? So, in fact, what are you doing before we get to that? What I know you've retreated from or moved away from Velvet.
Yeah,
What-
I'm just keeping an eye out, seeing.
Okay, if you are just keeping an eye out, let's say resolve and awareness.
Same roll. Yeah, that's a 1 and a skull.
A 1 and a skull. Well, it's luckily nothing too awful in this case. You can't work out who it is, but you have the feeling that you are being watched, which is not a massive surprise, obviously. But even though you are not currently engaged with anyone being discreet, you have the feeling that you're being observed by someone. You know, you sometimes it's just that thing you can feel the difference. You have the feeling that whatever you're doing, there is someone somewhere that is going to be noting it down. You can't. It's not like you've picked out a particular person in the crowd at this point. So Theodore, I'm afraid you are as you were, and I will come back to you.
Torporized.
I will come back to you in good time.
I see the Tweety birds.
It's okay. I will do some roping.
Joanne, you are currently with Druty. You have moved, so you're out of the kind of the main open central space.
How do you spell that one, sir?
It's Dhruti. She has taken you sort of between some of the display cabinets. So if someone was to walk around this way, they would see you, but you're out of the main view of kind of groups as they're there, and will ultimately bring you to a chair that is against the wall.
Appreciate it.
And once you're sat down, she says, "Court can be very difficult."
Yes, and I'm going to assume it does get a bit better. I'm not going to be punched in every single one.
She smiles at you and says, "Not unless you try really hard."
Not going to be trying for that, no.
So, you're new, so I should tell you that I'm not old, but I'm not new either. But I'm only a step ahead of you on the ladder, and you're probably has your sire told you about all of the clans and that sort of thing?
I know about the Toreador, I think that's... And he made note of the Ventru, I think that's what 2 of my coterie mates are, but...
Well, I'm from the same clan as Silas Shaw. The Brewer.
Okay.
And I also, despite my youth, do hold an office. Well, it's more of a job that I have to do. I'm the messenger of the court. So when there's a court like this, it's my job to go around and tell everybody where it's taking place and that sort of thing. Or if the prince wants someone informed of something, or any of the officers. So what that means is you might see me around from time to time, and I'm sure your sire's told you about domains and things. I have certain permissions when it comes to crossing domain boundaries.
Well, it's good to see a friendly face at least then.
Yes.
Oh, I'm hoping anyway.
I'm a fairly friendly face. I have to be. I have to know. It's my job to know everybody here.
Okay.
I'm sorry about what happened there. I thought that was very brave of you.
I took it on myself. I didn't even know what it was.
You know, I didn't take the test of mettle when it was my turn.
I shall be advising futures not to.
Do you have the key for those?
Kind of a spur of the moment thing.
Oh. Probably Sir Francis has still got it. When
Okay.
When things have calmed down, I'll see if I can get it back.
Thank you.
That's all right.
So Wallace decided to taunt me a little about these, but
She says,
I'm assuming I just got to take that.
if it makes you feel any better, Sir Wallace, you're not the only one he gives a hard time to. But, well, it was only a little revenge, but it's nice when it happens.
Yes.
And where he's concerned, don't worry, I've got your back.
Thank you.
She says, hang on, what's that? She glances over her shoulder, and you see Anne, who is the young girl who you, of course, Joanne hasn't met before.
Yep.
But she's kind of looking eagerly. She doesn't interrupt your conversation, but you know that thing where someone's waiting, but they're obviously waiting? Yeah, exactly. So she's sort of hands clasped, quite excited looking, but trying to be like patient.
Inconspicuous, but not.
And Druty says, and Joanne's been through quite a lot. Is this important? She says, yes, it's very, very important. It's so important. It's the most important thing. It's so... Would you mind if I... Druty looks at you.
I suppose not.
She says, it's also of very personal nature. Druty says, I understand. Well, it was genuinely good to meet you, and I hope the next time things will be a little easier.
Yes, and I hope I'm not as... this.
I'm sure you won't be. and I'll see what I can do about that key.
Thank you.
She says, Anne, can you give me a moment, please? And Anne says, oh, I suppose so. She hustles back a bit. Judy waits. Says, a little bit further. Says, fine. She goes, you hear her move away again. And then Judy says to you, as I said, it's my business to send messages, and therefore I'm supposed to know a place where I can contact various... I've been having a little trouble tracking down your sire lately, so I wondered if it might be easier if I could... I'm assuming you have a line of communication.
Yes,
I wondered if it might be easier if I could come to you if I have any messages for him.
Of course.
What is the best way to... Where is a place where I could leave a message or come to you?
So I'll give her my phone number and my flat address as well.
She says, thank you. Thank you with the number. The prince is quite keen that we don't call each other. He doesn't feel it's appropriate, so I'll come in person whenever there's an official message. So thank you for this address. I promise I'll memorise it and then I'll destroy it. Anyway, I should probably leave you to Anne. Good luck. And she steps off. So I'll come back to you in a moment. So briefly checking in with two of you. You're together, aren't you? Is that right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
We need to go find Joanna, isn't it?
Yeah, we do.
We look for Joanna.
Yeah.
We'll move through the court looking for
You're going to
Joanna.
start looking for Joanne?
Yeah.
Okay. So it won't take you that long to find her. So let's say you can come in a little way. I'll give you a nod when you can start
Okay.
coming into the earshot of this scene.
Oh, here we go.
So she says, hello, I'm Anne Sterling.
Joanne Salt.
And congratulations on passing your test of metal.
Thank you.
Those chains look awfully heavy.
Yes, as you can see, I'm not the strongest, but...
No, and that scourge is so big. Awful. I'm hoping that we might be friends. And I was wondering if there might be something I could ask of you.
I'm not exactly in the best condition right now.
Oh
but
no,
I
it's
can-
not. It's not anything that requires. It'll be very easy.
You can ask. I can't guarantee anything. but-
Okay, so you two are going to start coming in at this point. You can make a wits and awareness roll to see if you hear what she says next,
2.
One skull.
and that's it.
Yep. One skull.
You're not going to spend willpower to try and avoid the compulsion that I'm about to give you.
I think he wronged the roll.
So you're cool. I mean, I'm always happy to give you compulsions. So for anyone who's not familiar with V5, while Phil's thinking about this, if you get on a hunger dice a skull or a 1 as a result, and no successes whatsoever...
So I've got 2 successes.
Oh, fine. But had he not got those 2 successes, if he had no successes and a skull, he would have got a compulsion, and a compulsion is where the beast begins to kind of whisper in your ear and make you do things that normally are quite unpleasant. So in this case, then you will both of you hear what she...
Regardless of what she's saying, I'm inciting the fuck out of it.
Okay.
We've heard her say that she wants to ask Joanne a favour.
You will, and you'll as you're beginning, because you're coming around the
Yeah.
corner. Are you going to wait and listen, or are you going to just...
No,
come?
I'm walking up.
So as you're walking up, you're going to hear the next couple of sentences she says before you'll come kind of
Okay.
into a point where she'll stop. So she says, your sire is Barnaby, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of people are interested in him, it seems.
I want you to give him something for me.
I want to incite this to see if it's malicious.
Okay. You can make an insight and, let's say, resolve.
Yep.
This is just to try and gauge her emotional state. She is, however, in your favour, you think, using Blush of Life, so she is responding more like a human being, so it's not as hard as it might be.
2 successes.
You think she's definitely excited. Whether she's excited at the horrible thing she's trying to do to you, or whether she's excited about something else, it's hard to know. She definitely seems excited, and maybe a little nervous. She says, I'd like you to give him... And then, of course, you two turn up. And she says, oh, hello. Hello, Velvet. Again.
Hey.
Oh.
I
What's
thought...
up, Anne?
Well, I was just introducing myself to Joanne here.
God, you're quick off the mark, aren't you?
Well, well, you know, when you have new... I'm one of the new ones too,
But
really.
Anne, you know Joanne's had a really bad night.
Oh, she has, but I just wanted to, You will... She's got it kind of slightly hidden, but you will see she's got what looks like an envelope. And you've got Blush of Life active, haven't you? In fact, and vampires generally have it, but you see, you as you're breathing will smell the slight waft of perfume.
Oh, no.
Joanne, I don't know if Anne has had an opportunity to tell you that, but she is my, what would you say, half-sister, right?
Yes, well, we're family, you see, because you see, my sire is Rupert, and your sire is Sir Wallace,
Right.
and they share the same sire, so we're all family. Isn't it nice? Well, I suppose it's more like cousins, really, but I like to think of Velvet as my brother. I think that's quite sweet. Well, we can always pick this up a little later.
Yes.
Right, well, I shouldn't keep you. I'm sure you have coterie things to talk about.
Good to meet you, Han.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And nice to see you again, too.
Thank you.
And she bobs a little curtsy and goes off.
I'm going to look around trying to see if we're alone. Just the three of them.
You still feel a little bit like... Well, now you're checking. You don't feel necessarily you're like utterly unobserved. You don't feel like you're in the main view of the court. This is a little bit of you just doesn't quite feel at ease.
How are you doing?
Difficult to walk, and I'm doing better than he did.
Well, yeah, Theo's with his sire, so that's some.
Yeah.
Sorry, Theodore, I gotta get used to that. Such a long-winded thing. You need some help with your leg?
I'm sitting, I'll be fine.
Alright.
You don't have the key to those chains, do you?
No.
You reckon you can break them? No, wait a minute.
I wouldn't say I could at the moment. I could probably maybe take a work of the locks with something. Hammer and chisel. Maybe. But they're some tough chains, so maybe best to try and get the key.
Someone said they're going to try and get the key, but...
That would be useful.
Yeah, is there anyone else here we could ask that you know about for help? Alright.
I know you, I know Barnaby, and I know the rest of my clan, which is very small, but...
The rest of your clan, are they here in the room? Would they help?
Assuming we're, like, off to the side behind, like...
You are off to the side behind some things. Could you, Joanne, make a, let's say, resolve and awareness roll? Velvet, I can give you one as well. Sorry, Silas, you've already had one of these.
Did you say resolve and awareness?
Resolve and awareness?
Yeah. Resolve and awareness.
2 successes again.
Oh dear.
Pool of 5.
So I've got 1 success, but I've got skull as well.
It's okay.
Okay.
So, Velvet, you don't feel entirely unobserved.
Okay.
Joanne, you think in the reflection of the glass you can make out someone standing not that far away, but they're not in your direct line of sight. The reflection is poor and not enough for you to identify them. However, you can only see one. There might be more, but you only pick out one person. You know, judging on the reflection, you know where they are. Yeah.
So I kind of, like, jerk my head over that way, kind of go, sounds like we're being watched. Not that I didn't expect this, considering we're the new kids on the block, but...
What can I turn to wherever she's jerking, to the direction she's jerking her head?
So you're not seeing a person because their view is blocked, but you will probably clock the reflection.
Okay. You want me to go see if I can find whoever that is?
If you like, I just thought I'd point it out. Like I said, I expected us to be watched, so... Do with that information what you will.
Well, first order of business is sorting you both out. So,
Well, I think we all need to... I think we probably just need to see this court through, then recover, I think, is what's needed.
right.
And is that indeed your plan?
If
Believe so, yeah.
Joanne's family are somewhere in the court, I'm going to try and find them.
Okay.
and see if they can help her.
So you're going to go looking for...
Assuming she tells me who they are. If she doesn't, then fine.
I mean, you will know, of course, Joanne's sire.
Yes, if he's around.
So you're going to look
Yeah, but
for
I mean,
Barnaby.
he looks like he could give a fuck. So if she knows of someone else that might, yeah,
Well, that's up to you.
yeah,
You're-
yeah. You want me to go search out the rest of your clan?
There's only one other one.
Oh right.
Easy to find.
Oh, well, oh right. Okay. Well, you're
Probably a
right.
bad idea looking for that one then.
It's alright. I'll go look for him. I reckon. What's the worst is gonna happen? Nobody here gives a damn about us anyway. So.
That's true. I should probably speak to Finn.
All right.
So you're going to Finn, and
Yep.
you are looking for another
see?
chained vampire.
Do you want to stay here, or you want to come with me?
I
give you my
prefer
arm.
to sit down.
All right. Yes, I'm looking for a chained vampire.
Okay, so you go off to find Finn. Finn is easy to find.
Yep.
So I'll come to you in a sec. You, as the two of you are stepping back into the main area, you will realise that soft music has started to play, and there seems to be a gathering where the prince and a number of figures, all of which are carrying weapons or wearing armour of some kind, so you easily identify them as the knights. You will recognise Sir Holder amongst them, and of course Sir Wallace amongst them. They seem to be engaged. They have chairs and things have been put down, and they're also engaged in some kind of conversation. It's very much they're sat in a circle of which everyone else seems excluded. There are many other kindred who are not in that circle, who are just around the museum. Some in kind of quiet corners chatting, others in kind of more obviously visible groups. It will not take you long, Velvet, to realise that the music is being played by someone. So whilst all the knights are sat, there are two figures who are standing. One of them is a figure who we met last session, Alistair Tamsinberg.
Okay. Yep.
He is the one playing a violin,
Okay.
and he is stood near the prince playing softly. Let us see how well he is playing.
That's what I was about to ask. How well does this guy play?
Violin roll.
He's playing well, but Velvet will have gone to a few
Soirees.
soirees in the past.
Yeah.
He is not off the charts amazing.
Okay.
He's good.
He's not the best of the best like that.
He-
Got me.
He is not the best of the best. He is adequate.
Okay.
Like, he's someone who's obviously had some practice or training or something, but he is not... It seems an odd choice
For the prince.
for the prince. But nevertheless, he is playing the music. And you will also see a woman who looks to be in her mid-40s, and she looks, you would guess, Chinese,
Okay.
you think? Certainly somewhere... and she's wearing a long, elegant dress, and an abundance of heavy silver jewellery, multiple kind of bangles and things along her wrists, but also around her neck, more than one, and also around her waist. And they seem... I say heavy because there are chunks of metal with things scratched into them, almost as if you could read the jewellery as much as the fact that it is worn. And she has quite short hair, comes down to sort of the middle of the neck, and she is standing near the prince but is not doing anything, and is just looking down, looking very much like a servant. The only thing that strikes you, though, is that she isn't breathing.
So when I see Alistair, do I
Yes.
see that he's got chains on him, or I don't see that?
You will see that there is a very elegant silver chain that runs from his left wrist to his right wrist, but it's long enough that he
Okay.
can play without interfering, but it will sway back and forth as he's playing.
So I can deduce he's the person that she's told me about.
Yes, you can,
But
very
I can't
easily.
interrupt him because he's doing
Very-
something for the prince.
Very easily, yes.
So, okay. I don't know this other woman, so assuming I see this far enough in advance that I...
Oh yeah, you can easily
then
see it.
yes.
Yeah, you can clock it without looking.
Okay. In which case, I don't think they're interruptible. So I, while I'm in the room, I look for soap.
Okay.
And then I'm intending to go back to Joanne and say, guess I wasn't uninterruptible.
Give me a resolve and wits. In fact, just what's your pool halved?
2.
Okay, so you will notice several people now that you're looking around. It's a bit easier as well because a lot of the knights are now out of the way.
Yeah.
So you will notice Soap. She's very easy to spot.
Yep.
She is also standing next to a man who looks massively out of place and that he's not that smartly dressed. He has a mohawk, and it also looks as if half of his head has been caved in. Although he doesn't seem to be...
What is wrong with people in this place?
He looks as in a bad a state as Theo, but what's remarkable is he's still upright. But they seem to be standing kind of separate. They're very much not with everyone else. They're having a chat. But as you're looking, you will notice someone else.
Oh, right.
He looks to be in his maybe late 20s. He is wearing a smart grey suit. He's black. He's got short black hair. You instantly recognise him. Instantly, you recognise him as Adam.
Okay.
And he looks like he's just finished a conversation with somebody, and is just starting to make his way kind of out of that conversation, like across the room.
We go to him immediately.
Okay. You go to him immediately.
I mean, I walk over to him.
Okay.
Especially if he looks like he's going to leave or something like that.
Okay. So you kind of move to intercept him, and
I mean,
anything I should know about the way you're approaching him?
I look like I've been hit through the wall a second time. I guess I'm coming over to him in what would seem to the outside like a rush. So it might not look that dignified.
Okay, so you hurry in your injured state
Yeah.
towards him, and he will of course notice you.
Yeah.
And his eyes widen slightly as he sees you approaching. But he holds out a hand and he says, "Hello." He says, "I'm Adam."
I take his hand.
Okay.
And I say, do you have some place we could talk?
He says, I'd love to, of course, catch up, but I'm sure you need to recover.
Yeah, I don't need that as much as I need to talk.
Yes. You can see him trying not to do like a looking around over his shoulder thing, but you can see he's glancing back and he says, "Well," he says, "I understand that the Lion King is showing, and although I can't make it, I would think it would be very good for you to go and see it. It's a really good musical. I hear it's showing most nights, actually.
Alright.
Unfortunately, I've got a lot of business, so I probably won't be there."
Well, another time then.
His lies might be fooling someone else. They're probably not fooling you.
Nope.
I
have a whole series of things that are falling into place in my head.
You can see there's a tiny little bit of blood perspiration on his forehead. He says, "I must congratulate you on your test of mettle."
Thank you. I didn't. Doesn't matter.
Well, I do hope you enjoy the show. I should probably be.
Yeah, I have to. I have someone else to speak to.
Yes.
I will try to leave at that point. to move. I won't go to Soap. I'll go back to Joanne.
Okay, can you give me a quick composure and subterfuge roll? I'm just going to make one for him as well. Oh. Oh. Is that a dramatically appropriate roll?
Yeah, it is. So I don't think I'm going to spend willpower on this.
Okay.
Because it's an appropriate failure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So just one.
No, one, yeah.
So you make your way back towards Joanne, feeling obviously quite shaken.
Yeah.
You see Adam does that thing that he does as you're starting to leave, where it's just almost like he kind of goes, takes a breath. And it does seem like a genuine breath, as if he's breathing. And then seems to have restored his calm and then walks away. So you go back to Joanne.
Yeah.
While they're away, Joanne, Anne runs back over. Says, "Here you go!" And she gives you this letter. She says, "Please give it to Barnaby." And then she scurries away.
Is there anything on the outside?
There is just B on the envelope.
Okay. I don't have any pockets. I'm just in a dress.
You are just in a dress.
Don't have a bag, so I'm just holding it. Like.
Okay.
In chains.
Just
Just put it out there.
Are you...
I think the chain color clashes with the envelope. Just
The chain colour does clash terribly. I have an important question, which is, are you looking at the contents of the envelope? Or are you not looking at the contents of the envelope? You're not looking at the contents. Okay.
I know I'm being watched. I'm not going to do that.
Sure. Okay, so you're looking for Finn. You find Finn easily enough. He will come to you. You're right.
Yeah, I think someone cracked a couple of ribs.
I owe you an apology. I should have made sure. I should have just given you my own blood. I should have done anything. I'm sorry. I left you two on the edge for that test. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
So I mainly, I think, from what I think, I think I'm surprised she didn't break my ribs.
The important thing is you passed the test. No one can take that away from you. They'll forget about the other stuff. The point that you passed. That's what goes in the record. That's the thing. All right. Okay. So.
I'm a little. Isabel's taking care of Theodore.
Aye, right, and I'm sure they'll have that in hand. I'll make sure you're okay. Don't you worry. You're doing fine.
Yeah, and
Court's nearly over, and we'll be able to go home soon.
Joanne Chains.
Aye.
Yeah. There can be a key found for that?
I suppose so. There's not really precedent for it, and no one's ever asked to be chained by the prince before. So, what I'm not sure about is, well, the prince hasn't said they can come off yet. Now, see that man over there playing the violin?
Yeah.
He's had those chains on a long time, let me tell you. Maybe they're not going to come off. I don't know, it might be fine. Things aren't very good for the Torero at the moment.
I'm more thinking for the effectiveness of the coterie. Because, of course...
Aye, well, we can certainly make an appeal on that basis.
Yes.
As he's saying that, you will start to hear... when a conversation goes from like normal, comfortable conversation to slightly uncomfortable, slightly raised voices? You will hear it, and you will hear it, and you will hear it. And the reason...
I will not.
You, Theodore, I'm sorry to say do not. I'm sorry.
Because I am on a table in another room.
Yeah.
I'm far away.
He's still seeing
you're
stars.
resting your ears at the moment.
Not listen. Also, I don't like gossip, so...
Yeah, you're not...
I'm like my sire.
You are above such
I'm
things.
going to cover
Yeah,
my ears tonight.
absolutely. The reason that you immediately tune into it is because you recognise, for some of you recognise one of the voices. All of you recognise one of the voices. You recognise both, Velvet. The voices that in question are Sally's and Rupert's. And what you hear is Sally saying...
I can hear it, but I can't see it from where I am.
No, probably not
I'm
if you're
getting
in a
up and
chair.
going to see where she is.
You start making your way round.
Ting, 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 ting.
And Sally says, and I'm not happy about it. And Rupert says, well, I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement. She says, yes, of course. You can apologise. Well, I certainly didn't wish to cause any offence. And she's to the court. She says, now really, that's quite ridiculous. Well, in my opinion, it's not ridiculous. Poaching is a crime. Poaching? Poaching? Hardly. I don't think that falls under your jurisdiction. I was quite within my rights, as a Venator, to be doing what I was doing. But I won't have you saying otherwise. Well, in that case, I demand satisfaction. What? I demand a duel. No, come on, that's quite ridiculous. We can surely talk this over. Come to some sensible... You've had your chance to talk. She turns and says, I demand satisfaction, my prince. I demand a duel against this man, this poacher. And she points at Rupert. Rupert looks appalled. All of the knights stop what they're doing. Rafe very slowly looks over with narrowed eyes in their direction. And the herald says, goodness me, it seems there is yet more drama to be had. Says, are you telling me, Sally Horrocks of Clan Malkavian, that there is no other way to resolve this matter? Sally says, I've made my claim and he has called me a liar. I demand satisfaction. If I win, then I'll be proven correct in the eyes of the prince. The herald says, that is my line, Sally Horrocks. Rupert says, really, surely we don't have to come to this. It's just a misunderstanding. I'm sure a discussion. Sally says, no, it will be a duel. You've had your chance. Herald says, goodness. So, he looks to the prince. The prince. Herald says, well, if there is no other way to resolve this, then it seems a duel must be fought. Sir Holder stands up and says, I, Sir Holder, will stand as champion for Sally. For this abuse has happened within my half of Oxfordshire. Rupert quickly looks across to Rafe. Rafe looks like he's about to say something when another knight leans across from the circle. He looks like someone out of kind of Mongol history. He's wearing like a leather tunic but with the plates kind of sewn onto it, and he has this long moustache and what looks like a curved blade at his side. And the thing that's slightly interesting as well about him is that he has makeup, like eyeshadow, around his eyes. It's quite beautiful, actually. And he seems to be talking to Rafe. And you see, for those, well, certainly you, Velvet, because you're very tuned into this, will see the moment where Rafe just kind of goes like, and looks away from Rupert and breaks eye contact. And then Rupert looks to Wallace, and Wallace looks to Rafe, and Rafe shakes his head. And the herald says, are there any champions you wish to call, Rupert? And Rupert says, well, of course I will in the fullness of time. It's I'm not yet ready to take the duel at this moment, and I'm sure we can resolve it with a little bit of discussion. Sally's already shaking her head. The herald says, indeed. Well, I trust you will have made your arrangements by the next court. For in that court there will be a duel or a resolution. This matter has been brought before the prince, and he will expect to see it ended swiftly and appropriately. And Sally will bow in the prince's direction, and so will Rupert. And then conversations resume, but now in that kind of, ooh, something's happened, isn't it exciting? Anything you are immediately doing, you three?
I'm just keeping quiet at the point.
Okay.
I'm not with you, am I? I was on my way back to you.
Yes.
I continue on my way back to Joanne.
So you get back to Joanne, and Silas, you are...
Joanne's got up and moved off to see what Sally
Oh yeah,
was
so
doing.
you will see Joanne has come out from her hidey
I'll
hole.
go to where she is then. Yeah.
So you'll see these two converging. And you will now notice there is somebody watching you, but when you look at them, they kind of look at, you know that thing where when you're looking at someone at the corner of your eye and then they look at you and you look away and that kind of slightly awkward, it's a bit like that, and they start to head away, but you will catch a glimpse of what looks like a kind of a Middle Eastern woman in her early 20s, and her hair is covering a lot of her face, like it's all kind of brushed forward, and she's wearing a hat with a veil that also obscures her from your sight. So you'd be hard pressed to pick her out, from a crowd. But her at the moment, if she doesn't change her clothes, because the hat is quite distinctive, you could identify her. So you two meet up.
No.
Please.
Take her arm as kind of. This is kind of my full etiquette, so I'm as gracious and graceful as I could be. Yes. I'll say it seems you guys playing the violin for the prince, and I couldn't get to him.
Yeah, I thought that would be something similar. Sally, she's doing it again. It's gonna get her killed.
I don't know about that because Rupert, who she was talking to, is Wallace's brother, and he's sort of strange, but more than that, Rafe didn't jump up to stand on his side, not like Sir Holden did with Sally. So that means there's gotta be some sort of problem, and Wallace looked at him. And when Wallace looked at him, Rafe shook his head. So I think, I don't know what happened, because there was some other guy that had an exchange with Rafe before him, but I don't know who he is. But I don't know if Rupert's gonna get the support he thinks he has. I think he might have overplayed his hand.
That feels a little better. Sally was instrumental in learning all this process to me, so
Yeah. Well, Sally's
don't really want to see her hurt.
no, I don't either. You know where Silas is?
I just came to see what Sally was doing again.
So
I kind of like Sally.
is anyone else planning to do anything before the end of court?
I'm looking around to see if he arrived at any point.
He hasn't. You do not see him anywhere.
I'm just gonna. The only thing I'm gonna probably do is ask Finn who was.
You're going to ask Finn who that is?
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, her. I think she's one of the Nosferatu, not one of the lines, you know. But there's another line, but they're not noble, you know. They've all got weird names, the Nosferatu, you know. It's Mr. Whispers, I think.
I keep my eyes on what Adam's doing around the court.
Okay.
I try not to be obvious about this.
You will see Adam talking to some other people that you don't recognise.
Okay.
You are able to work out by now that at least one or two of them are Nosferatu, however,
Okay.
from their quite strange appearance. So court will start to come to an end. However, a couple of things will happen before you go. One is that the Herald will find each of you and say, now that you have been approved as petitioners, it is your time to prove yourself worthy to be recognised as Kindred of Oxfordshire. The way you will do that is by gaining the support of other already recognised Kindred of Oxfordshire. Traditionally, 2 must speak in your favour to the prince. They cannot be of your bloodline. Alternatively, a single knight may put in a word for the prince, and that will carry sufficient weight. Of course, the calibre of person that speaks for you and the challenge of getting them to do so will be taken into account. So whilst you may simply go and approach, I don't know, Brick, or some other unlineaged newcomer to Oxfordshire, I rather hope you don't. Until such time as you have had that approval, you will not be recognised, though you will be permitted to attend court, providing your sires are present. Of course, the speed at which you gain your entrance to Oxfordshire will also be noted. I do wish you all the best of luck. Yes. What a wonderful story it will make. The Toreador, breaking free her chains. I'm sure Sir Francis will be only too willing to give you back the key. And with that, the herald will leave you. There is one other thing that happens before you leave court, which is when you're going on your way out, Sir Wallace will pick you up, Velvet, and there will be an impromptu Ventru gathering. It's very brief.
Okay.
You're all there. Rafe says... the other person that's there that wasn't there before is Meliore.
Okay.
Who you won't have seen from your line gathering, but obviously you'll have heard from other scenes. But Isabel is not there.
Okay.
And Rafe simply says, this business with Rupert. Deal with it. And then he leaves. He doesn't address it just to you.
Vampire.
He addresses it to everyone present.
I wait for it to come down the management channels to me.
Indeed. But it doesn't just yet.
Yes.
Right. So you all go off home.
Yep.
Can I see Joanne home?
You
Because
can.
she's injured.
You can see Joanne home. So just to say that Finn will help you to feed for at least a level of hunger should you wish to rouse for your health. And if anyone else wishes to rouse to cure any of their superficial, you can then stop being impaired. Or you can simply endure it and go
superficial.
You don't. You transcend superficial.
I feel like I have to because I need to eat when I get home, and I don't think that I can eat in my current state. So
I want to come back to Theodore. So the next night, when you wake from your torpor, you can remove one level of hunger.
Hunger?
What hunger are you currently at? 1. In that case, can you roll your 4 rouse checks?
You have one guess.
You've gone to hunger 5?
Yes.
Alright, awesome.
0 successes.
Okay.
I've been through that shit, it's not fun.
Okay.
Hey, at least it wasn't on hunger 2 already. You'd be in torpor now. Well, you'd be in deeper torpor.
When you wake, however, you are not. Oh, can you make a quick frenzy check for me? So current willpower plus a couple of dice.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, awesome.
Jesus Christ, that willpower's fuck.
You wake
You
to...
add your humanity. And Theodore's very humane.
You...
No.
He's also very focused. He's very focused on waking up at the moment. When you wake to the taste of very nice blood on your lips. I mean, not off the charts, but it's good blood. It feels...
Is it old times good?
Old times.
It's not quite as old times as you think.
Okay.
It's a familiar taste of blood.
Oh, okay, got it.
So you will go down to
Hunger 4.
and then down to hunger 3
Okay.
before you will be politely disengaged. The beast, of course, wants more, but you are already compass mentis enough to know that you are drinking from your sire, and that it would be improper to drink beyond the permissible point.
Yeah.
You will note that if when you wake and you open your eyes and she's standing over you, if she is struggling with her hunger, it is not visible on her face in any way. She seems as composed as ever. She will leave her arm there for you for a moment, and then step away and begin to replace her sleeve and restore it. You are laying in quite a comfortable bed. You're on top of the sheets and things. You don't recognise the room, and although Isabel is there, you will also see that Sir William is there as well.
I don't know him nor recognize him.
No.
I was
So-
passed out before he even...
Isabel will say, "Welcome back, Theodore."
I am...
So you've
Really?
healed one aggravated. By
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way.
yeah. But I am, like, it's very visible. I am distressed. As in, I have shamed her in my mind.
Mm.
I have let her down. And given Theodore's thought process, that is worse than anything else.
She says, "I have the honour of introducing you to Sir William Felton,
So what?
Knight of Oxfordshire and child of the Prince." Because it is his hospitality that allows us to be here this night, and it is his desire that he have some time to speak with you. Now that I'm content that you have recovered from torpor, I will wait outside. Just, of course, when your business with Sir William is concluded, I will be waiting to escort you back. She looks at you for one last moment.
I don't look her in the eye. Way too ashamed.
Okay. And then she will.
It's like a dog when it's weed on the carpet.
Worse. Food on the carpet.
Oh, it's a serious dog poo on the carpet scenario. Sir William is sat in a fairly straight-backed chair, and he says, "I would like to apologise for what you experienced last night. He says it is not representative of the court of Oxfordshire. Is that a member of our court, a knight no less, and of my own clan, would behave in such a fashion is," shakes his head, "unacceptable."
I don't understand. I failed the test, didn't I?
Yes, you have failed the test, and there is nothing I nor anyone else can do about that.
So why are you apologizing? To me, shouldn't it be the other way around? I made a mockery of myself, my bloodline, in front of the prince and yourself.
You failed the test, that is true, and there is shame attached to that. Yes. However, there is no glory in a knight treating a fledgling in such fashion, particularly not one from a respected line. I do not know what Sir Enolf has made of all of this, but certainly I would not stand by and allow such a thing to happen without at least speaking to you.
sir.
As I say, it is not within my power to change the past. But from everything I have heard, you comported yourself bravely and respectfully in front of the prince. And if you are interested, I may have a opportunity that a dutiful kindred who wishes to get others to reassess their position might want to take.
I accept. But not because I want my position to be reconsidered. I swore an oath to the prince. You're his child. I'm your subject to command.
Good then. There is a property. I will have the details sent along to you. It is not being used. It is a blight upon the street that it sits in. And more importantly, it stands in the way of certain plans that I have. I would very much appreciate it if you could see to it that that building can be purchased. At the moment, there are certain difficulties, and I understand in these modern nights that the law is in a constant state of flux. However, I am sure a newly embraced kindred such as yourself will have no difficulty navigating the web of such things.
Absolutely, sire.
Good then. As I say, I will have the details sent on to you, and we will go from there. Now, so I am no stranger to pain, and I'm sure you wish to see to your injuries, and your sire, I'm certain, is anxious to get you back home.
Thank you, sire.
But I did not want you to have to travel across Oxfordshire unconscious in such an undignified state. And I wanted this chance to speak to you without observation. It goes without saying that this business is a discreet one. I do not wish my name connected to it.
No one will know.
Excellent. And with that, you are dismissed.
Yeah.
So,
I walk outside towards Isabel.
yes.
Yes. As best as I can. I'm ready to leave, Lady Isabel.
Yes, this way. There is a sad, silent, shame-filled journey back. She doesn't say very much. She just leaves you in your quiet space.
That's worse.
And of course, when you do finally get back home, you see the moment where Miyuki goes from fear to and she's there and she'll escort you and she's ever so, and she'll, and Isabel will basically hand you over to her, and she's like, Ken-san, your beard. No, come, and she'll take you, and you'll be kind of looked after, and she'll help you out of the kind of the clothes, and you'll be cleaned up and shaved and everything, and there'll be lots of fuss. She gives you no trouble whatsoever about the fact you didn't come back, that she stayed up all night or anything. She does look really tired, but doesn't even mention it, and there's lots of fuss. So a few nights will go by, just a couple. If anyone wants to make their rouses for healing superficial,
I will do.
What am I rolling for this?
I should add, you're not on hunger 5 or hunger 3.
3. Level
Yeah.
over 3,
Yeah.
So this is to heal.
Isabel will also support you. If any of you want to use your free feeding levels, you can.
Nope.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I used 2 of them.
Two.
Yeah,
Nope.
I still have 2 left.
yeah.
So what do I need to roll?
You need to make a roll.
So I've got-
It's going to be, I think, manipulation and subterfuge. Yes, your specialty will apply.
At some point during these nights, I want to just talk to Barney about getting these fucking things off.
Sure.
okay. How do I do?
3 successes, so I
Three, four,
go to
five
hunger
successes.
2 and heal
Sure.
a second level of aggravated.
Okay.
And I've got
I'm
7
healing-
down.
One level of
You
superficial.
had,
So, for people listening along at home, there is now
uh,
frantic maths going
seven,
on
level
as the
seven.
coterie
Seven,
quickly
so
try and heal some of their injuries.
Superficial,
and-
2 aggravated.
My heart.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I go down to
Oh, that
hunger
means I
1
have to
again.
eat.
just
So
like
some
that.
characters, like Theodore, have a few resources that he can draw upon. He has a herd of loyal workers
3 of those.
who will willingly give up their blood to him.
Sufficient
And also
If
he
they
has
know about
Okay,
it.
so just
he also has
Yeah.
Isabel's support. Yeah, it's not so much they are willingly giving up their blood so much as they are willingly putting themselves in a position where he can feed.
So I need to
And Isabel will help him feed.
Yeah.
Velvet, of course, will be getting to know his family a little bit better.
How
I
many?
really need to eat.
And
Well,
that's,
yeah.
You would have one. You could slake one
No,
hunger.
no,
from your-
I'm not going to him. Yeah.
So-
I will eat
okay.
for myself. Yeah.
Okay, so can I assume you're not going to Jessica this time? You're going to your.
Her in-law.
Her
You're
in-laws.
my in-law. Sorry,
Yeah.
her family. Yeah.
So let's say you have some kind of family dinner
Sure.
or
I'll
something.
organise one myself.
You organise one yourself,
Yeah.
and
Everybody's invited home.
Yeah.
Come.
there is dinner, and then there is dinner. Did you make your roll, by the way?
Yeah. So I've got. You would just help me with this.
Yeah, so 3 superficial, 2 aggravated.
That's what I was on.
Yeah. You don't have to heal at all, of course.
No,
Yeah.
no. But I'm already on hunger 2 before we start any of this process. So my roll. What did I roll? 5.
Yeah, so you were on the trying to heal. So you hit the 3 successes for the healing all the superficial. Then
But then to
it's
heal the aggravated, I need to eat. I think.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's assume for the moment, because we're getting low on time,
Yep.
that you have healed. Basically, were you trying to heal an aggravated? Did
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that it, or did you say you're also going to heal a super?
So I think I've healed the superficial as well.
Okay. So you're no longer impaired.
Yeah.
Do you have any injuries remaining?
One aggravated.
One aggravated, fine.
Yeah.
But you still are in a little bit of discomfort, but you're basically okay now. The whole feeding side of this we will resolve in a future session
Yeah.
for funsies. But for
Yeah.
now, we will assume that you have slaked your hunger.
Yeah.
Whatever the cost of that slaking the hunger is,
To be
you have slaked
determined.
it at this point.
Yep.
Has everybody else handled themselves? Just so we know where you're at.
Yes, thankfully for the free feeding that I get, I am on hunger 1 and completely healed.
Okay, yes, because you were only on superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's-
How many nights?
Just 2.
I tried the second one because I ended up at low.
Yeah.
That's 2 successes all the way to hunger 3. I used my last freebie for
Yeah.
to drop down to hunger 2, but I healed 3 aggravated.
Okay, and last
So-
thing for... Oh, sorry, and Joanne?
I'm still not entirely sure about the rules about healing aggravated and stuff.
So with aggravated damage, you can
I
only
know how to heal
heal...
superficial and
With aggravated, you can try and heal 1 when you wake up. And what you do is, in addition to making your normal rouse check, you make an additional 3 rouse checks.
Okay.
And you will always heal the aggravated, it's just how hungry you get in the process. So are you choosing to heal any aggravated damage, or are you going to let it sit for now?
I'm letting it sit for now.
Okay. So what will
I also
happen...
want Barnaby to get fucking chain.
What will happen is you will... so I should say that Barnaby will not have organised the chains coming off yet. He will just say... He says, I know it sucks, but we did try to tell you to keep your head down. Otherwise, this kind of thing is what happens. I'll see what I can do, okay?
And how am I going to change anything if I keep my head down?
Well, it's Alistair that wants to change things, not me. And your sires will gather you up, not Wallace, obviously, but you will be invited to meet the rest of the coterie.
I do need to go and see the Lion King.
You do need to go and see the Lion King. Again, we will resolve
Yes,
that
yeah,
next
yeah.
session.
Yeah.
There's not time to do that now. And you will be gathered together by your sires. And Isabel will say to you, Barnaby will be present, but he's not currently engaging with you.
Present?
Finn is also there, and he may also engage. But Isabel says, now that you have met with the prince and sworn your oath, I'm sure the herald has told you what is required of you. is now your time to show your value to Oxfordshire. And certainly for us, she looks at Finn, being placed in a coterie has certain advantages. For you may, of course, impress Oxfordshire as individuals, but you may also work together to ensure that all of you are successful. It will be worth noting that if, let us say, one of you was successful long before the others, they would be expected to start performing duties. So it is in your interests to not leave too long a gap between being recognised. As to how you wish to do that, that is a test of your own skill, and one we will give advice should you wish it, but... And then Finn jumps in and says, but it's better if you do it yourself, that's the whole point. If we're leading you around like on a lead, you're not going to impress anyone. It's not quite. Sorry. And then they leave you to it. Barnaby also leaves.
Have we seen?
You said you could give
This
it
is
a go?
the first
Time
time you've
we've
seen
seen
Theodore
him. Okay.
since everything.
How are you doing, man?
Everything okay?
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm fine. She hit you like a fucking truck.
We're all dead already.
Yeah, I know, but one fist hit me and that hurt, but you... My God.
Didn't feel any pain.
I could even say that.
Well, that's a trick you gotta teach me.
I did not feel anything.
Well, no, he wouldn't, would he?
I mean, there would have been a flash of pain on contact, to be fair.
Yeah, for like half a second.
Less, probably.
But if you want to do the whole... no, I tell you what. You can make a contested wits and insight versus composure and subterfuge if you want.
It is not on my interest, whatever he thinks.
Yeah.
I just say what I need and move on.
Make of it what you will then.
Yeah.
But he seems pretty convincing.
Among other things, we have to do this, and I could also use all of your help with another issue.
Oh,
What issue?
what is she?
To impress my great-grandsire, Sir James Douglas, one of the 4 founding knights of Oxfordshire.
What do you gotta do to do that?
There's been a Kine who has previously wronged me, and I have been tasked to bring said mortal to ruin in some shape or form. I would rather not kill him, which would be one of the ways to deal with him, but I would rather leave him. I'd rather not have to go down that Olga route. I think it would as well show more favour if did not. But
What do you want? Coma? Arms broken? This
I mean,
medical expertise?
something that means that he's not going to be able to do what he tried to do again, which was, shall we say, what's one of the worst things that a man could do to a woman?
Help me out of these chains. I'll do whatever. I'll help you out.
Wait a minute, just you're saying what I think you're saying. So
To one thing.
we got a surgeon here. There's a very obvious thing we can do with that.
And,
So what we need you out of these.
yeah, and
How do we get that out?
of course, if we can get them from multiple angles as well, that would be very. So yeah, I know.
Boom! To the lock. That's it. Jesus,
So-
woman.
So a gunshot rings out loudly, and
We're fine.
door will open.
We're fine.
It's Finn.
And I'm going like, no chain.
He does a quick head count, and he's like, right, and then shuts the door.
So we gotta sort, or you gotta sort this guy out. You want our help?
Yes.
You're out of your chains, woman.
What's the name of this kind?
Eric Mason.
Anything?
What's he do?
Like
What does he do for a living?
Eric Mason
He's been the
does
same.
anything.
What, does it ring any bells?
Any.
You can do an intelligence and academics, but it's going to be difficult.
Yep. He's been a similar line of work as for me. He's probably more talented, but his attitude's been
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
unfortunately prevented him from getting any decent work. So he's struggling at this point.
Has he ever been injured at any point? I'm a surgeon. I can go look at medical records.
Or you could injure him.
Probably.
Children,
I mean, works both
children,
ways, right?
children. I think we're missing the point. Yes,
You
Mr.
call them
Shaw
children.
has an issue that he wishes to resolve. It seems to be a personal matter pertaining him and his clan.
Which he's asking for our help with.
Have you not heard what our sires said? Did you not hear?
Yes.
Yeah, I
But
heard what they said.
also,
Shouldn't we be getting to that first?
I'm sure it's gonna come in time.
And on that note, as the coterie begins to make their plans,
And I start walking out the door.
or not make their plans, as Theodore looks like he's about to go, that is where we will draw session 4 to its conclusion. So thank you very much, people at home who've listened along.
Yep.
And we will find out what these lovely people get up to next week at the same time.
Remember, patrons are in the giveaway, and if you bring more people, you get more tickets, and they get.
Oh, I'm a Twitch sub. That means I'm in it. Yes.
Thank you very
Thank
much for
you.
watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for watching this episode of Blood on the Tamesis. If y'all would like to keep up with the latest news, then you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. on Twitch, or you can catch up on YouTube in our podcast. And a big thanks to our supporters on Patreon and all of you beautiful disaster ghouls. We'll see you next time.